will be Larry Harlow. Batting second, the second baseman, Billy Smith. Hitting third in left field, Pat Kelly. Batting fourth, right fielder, Ken Singleton. Hitting fifth at first base, Eddie Murray. Batting sixth, the designated batter tonight for Baltimore, Lee May. Hitting seventh, doing the catching, Rick Dempsey. Batting eighth at shortstop will be Mark Belanger. And batting ninth, third baseman Rich Dower. The Oriole lineup has Harlow leading off, playing center, followed by Smith at second, Kelly in left, Singleton in right, Murray at first, May the DH, Dempsey catching, Belanger at short, and Dower at third. We're getting the meeting of the umpires now at home plate. Earl Weaver, the last to join the group. Ralph Houck and Earl exchanging some pleasantries. Getting a little bit of a delay here on the start of tonight's ball game, and it just dawned on me why. Because this is one of just a handful of home games being televised here in Baltimore. And looking at one of the newest members of the video industry, Mr. Brooks Robinson, on camera now, the long-time great third baseman of the Baltimore Orioles, now part of the television crew here in Baltimore. And Brooks looks good, feels good, and enjoys his work as a television announcer. The umpires will line up this way tonight. Behind the plate, it'll be Ron Luciano. At first, Rich Garcia. At second, Vic Voltaggio. And at third, Nestor Shylock. Well, the little baseball card is wheeled in. The starting pitcher for the Orioles, Scott McGregor. McGregor, by the way, is familiar to Tiger manager Ralph Houck. McGregor, at one time, was a hot prospect in the Yankees organization before coming over to the Orioles. And when the deal was originally made between the Yankees and the Orioles, Ralph had commented about it at the time. The deal had been made in the middle of the year, just at the trading deadline 2 seasons ago, when the Orioles acquired Rick Dempsey, along with Rudy May, Tippy Martinez, and Dave Pagan, plus McGregor, while giving up Ellie Hendricks, Ken Holtzman, Doyle Alexander, Grant Jackson to the Yankees. So it was a very big trade at the time, and McGregor was the only one that didn't immediately join the Baltimore club. He was assigned to Rochester, where he wound up having an excellent season. He just moved over from Syracuse to Rochester, and that year, 2 years ago, won 12 and lost 6. Last year with the Orioles, he stayed up the whole campaign and appeared in 29 games, 5 of them as a starter, and won 3 and lost 5. But he's in the starting rotation this year and doing an excellent job for them. Now, the Orioles are coming out to their defensive positions on the field. We've had a beautiful summery day here in Baltimore. Rex Barney on the public address system just notified us that the temperature at 7 o'clock, or in other words, just prior to game time, was 84 degrees here in Baltimore. Now we invite you to join us for the national anthem. Now, before tonight's game gets underway, we'll pause for these messages.
at the plate in the Labatt's baseball trivia game. Here's the pitch. Who drew the most votes in the first selection of players for the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York? Call timeout to think about it over a cool, refreshing Labatt's Blue. The answer, Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb gained 222 votes, 7 more than the great Babe Ruth or Honus Wagner. Great baseball calls for great beer. Labatt's Blue. Call for Labatt's. Brewed in Canada since 1828. Distributed by Labatt Importers Incorporated, Buffalo, New York.
For beer at its finest, get your hands on Labatt's. It's Canada's #1 beer. As fresh and crisp as where it comes from.
Did you know that the first nuclear chain reaction occurred under the Stagg Field Football Stadium in Chicago? That's a WJR Sports Stat, and I'm Jim Forrest.
Tiger third base coach Freddie Hatfield just ruined umpire Ron Luciano's night here in Tulsa Boys Memorial Stadium. Fred, as perhaps some of you Tiger fans come to the game often, has a little ritual as he heads out of the Tiger dugout to assume his spot. He jumps with both feet on home plate before trotting out and then kicks both sides at third base and gets his position out there. Well, Ron Luciano had just cleaned off home plate. They sprayed the dirt around the plate, so it's a little muddy, a little gummy. Fred picked up that clay in his spikes and emptied it all right on home plate, on the clean plate. We're ready to go with a windup of the series here in Baltimore. Here's Ron LaFleur leading it off, and at the microphone, Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Paul. Hi, everybody. LaFleur batting .269. Swings and misses on McGregor's first delivery. It's a fastball through the letters. McGregor with a 3-3 record. This is his 6th start of the year. He's a left-hander. Still a lot of daylight around here. There's a ball low. He started the month, didn't go for it. And the count on the leadoff man is 1-1. LaFleur has 4 home runs and 17 runs batted in. After this one, the Tigers head up to Boston for 4 games. Swing, a fly ball at the short right field. Singleton coming in, running hard, makes the catch. LaFleur is out. 1 up and 1 away. And the batter will be Mark Wagner, shortstop, hitting .288, no home runs, 6 runs batted in. McGregor, a 24-year-old pitcher from El Segundo, California. He was in the Yankee system when he started back in '72 at Fort Lauderdale. And came to this club from the Yankees on a trade. His first appearance for the Baltimore was in '76. Here's the pitch, and Wagner takes the ball outside from McGregor. McGregor hurt his elbow in that only big league game he pitched in '76 and lost to Milwaukee. And then last year, worked the whole season with the Birds, winning 3 and losing 5. He had 1 complete game in 5 starts. Earl Weaver used him both in the bullpen and as a starter. Now the pitch to Wagner. Swung on a foul fly back at first base. Murray chasing. He's there. He has it. That's 2 down. Little humpback fly ball that he caught between the bag at first and the seat. Rusty Staub stepping in now. Rusty hitting .295. 4 home runs and 30 runs batted in. The Tigers, who were hitting the ball better than any club in the league, came in here and they've been stymied by the Baltimore pitchers. Their team batting mark has dropped to .286. Rusty swings as they hit the left field. Sliced the line drive to the right of Belanger, fielded in left by the left fielder Pat Kelly, and Staub is on.
Note on the PA to the effect that Rusty is now singled in each of the first, in the first inning, his first time up in all 4 games in the series.
Here's Jason Thompson now. He's batting .316 with 11 home runs and 27 RBIs. No score first inning. The Tigers at bat. They've got Staub at first base and Murray holding on the bag with him. The outfield will be around the right on Thompson, and Kemp will be the next Tiger batter. So left-hander against the left-hander in this first inning scoreless situation. And here's the pitch. Thompson swings as a fly lifted to center. Harlow coming over, running hard, makes the catch. The glove side to the left center field, and the side retires. Oh, the Tigers get no runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left. And at the end of a half inning, it is Detroit nothing and Baltimore coming to bat.
Hello again, everyone. This is your man about town, your roving reporter, bringing you up to date on what's happening in the Tri-County, Ann Arbor, and Ypsilanti areas. And have I made a sensational discovery? Your 29 marathon dealers are experiencing a business boom unlike anything I've seen for some time. And it seems to be attributed to the fact that they're going all out for tire sales during their Marathon Man Tire Days with super low prices on Firestone tires. Here's what I mean. The popular Firestone Deluxe Champion polyester cord tire is priced as low as... And that's not all. There are new low prices on Firestone's Radio Deluxe Champion. Prices as low as... And that's for a radio white wall. Fantastic. Marathon Man Tire Days is the hottest thing in town, and believe me, we need it. I'll have another report for you real soon. In the meantime, get into your participating marathon station and get super deals on Firestone tires. The man will tell you where. See Mel Hardesty at RCM Marathon in Detroit. Walt Brown at Bronze Marathon, also in Detroit.
It's been a long day for Steve Baker. This is his Major League debut tonight. He's had to wait all day long for it. And now you know he's got to be a little anxious as he gets out there to pitch his first big league ball game. He's a Husky right-hand pitcher. Taking his final tune-up tosses now at Lance Parrish. Now this is only the third year in the pro ranks for young Mr. Baker. He started in '76 with Lakeland, won a total of 5 games and dropped 4. The next year at Montgomery, he was just the opposite, 4 and 5. And this season at Evansville won his first 4 decisions. He had an earned run mark there of 1.88. 2 shutouts in his 4 victories for Evansville. 21 years old, 6 feet and 185. It'll be Larry Harlow, Bill Smith, and then Pat Kelly, the first 3 men to face him. Steve Barnes and Steve Barnes Jr. have come up by automobile from Richmond, Virginia. They're longtime Tiger fans. They lived in the Detroit area over 10 years ago, and they're here to try to root the Tigers in and also send greetings to Mr. Barnes' brother, Ted Barnes, who is a great Tiger fan back in Michigan. For the Orioles, batting first. Here comes Harlow to lead it off for the Birds. Larry Harlow. Larry is a left-handed batter, batting average .322, home runs and 6 RBIs. This is the 34th game that Harlow's appeared in. Stands deep, opens his stance slightly, and here's the first pitch by Baker. Swung on the ground ball, hits the second. Dillon has it, so to first, he gets the first man he faces. Mr. Baker does, and there's 1 up and 1 away for the Birds.
Well, it was convenient that he swung at the first pitch.
Number 2.
But like football, it's that first contact almost, getting rid of that first pitch.
That's right. You don't want to throw the first 3 outside and then have all the problems of bases on balls. Here's Billy Smith up now. Mickey Stanley said in the World Series when they switched him to shortstop, the best thing that happened was if he got a ground ball right away. Here's Smith. He's a switch batter, batting left-handed. Hitting .227, and Steve Baker delivers. Here's a ball low, over the plate but low with a curve. Smith batting .227, no home runs, 11 RBIs. The outfield is straight up and not very deep. Rodriguez at third, Wagner at short, Dillon at second, Thompson at first. Parrish doing the catching tonight. There's a strike call. Luciano up for the right hand. In the outfield, the Tigers have Kemp in left, LaFleur in center, and Walkenfuss is the right fielder. There's the fastball fouled away. That's the hardest that Baker has thrown so far. 1-2 now the count. Almost no breeze here. What we do have is a very gentle breeze coming in from left field toward the plate. Smith waiting now on a 1-2 delivery. No score first inning in Baltimore. The pitch on the way. He takes a curve. It's just outside. That one was close. Pat Kelly waiting on deck. Here's the pitch. He swings and fouls it away. That was a fastball. In the American League batting now, the leader is Rod Carew at 389. He went 0 for 4 last night. Rice leads in runs scored and runs batted in. Carew leads in hits. Rice is the leader in home runs. Baylor now is second with 12, and Jason Thompson is third with 11. Here's the pitch. He swings and there's a line drive, base hit, left to the field. Chased down by Kip. It gets up the gap. Picked up now by the floor, and on to second goes Smith for the two-bagger. That one up the gap. After lining over the head of the shortstop Wagner. So Smith on second, one man down. First inning, the Birds flapping their wings early. Here's Kelly. The veteran outfielder, Pat Kelly. Kelly hitting .341 without a home run. Been in 21 games and knocked in 6 runs. Here's the set, and the pitch, it is a fastball right through the middle for a strike. Baker did not pitch in spring training, but he did work in the exhibition game against Cincinnati. That was on April the 10th, and was impressive in that appearance. Here's a fastball in too close on Kelly, 1-1. Last time Baker pitched at Evansville, he pitched against Oklahoma City, went the first 7, and gave up 3 earned runs. Evansville rallied to win the ball game. The win went to Bruce Taylor in relief. There's a foul out of play. This one will reach the upper deck on the third base side. If you're a number bug, Mr. Baker is wearing number 31. So the number Paul carries a suitcase, which should assure him of immortality, if nothing else. Here's a 1-2 pitch. A curve that hung a little bit high. That's one he probably didn't want to throw. It was outside 2-2 on Kelly. Man on second, 1 man out for the Orioles. No score first inning. Baker deals. That's outside and off the mitt of Parrish. And on to third will go Billy Smith. Waiting for the scorer's decision on that one. Orioles now have a man at third. One away. The infield staying back. It's a pass ball charge to Parrish. And Kelly swings and pops one up into short left field. Going back is Wagner. He's under it. Kemp behind him. Mark makes the catch, and Billy Smith has to hold it third. Kelly is out on the pop-up into short left field. And that will bring the back to the leading hitter on this ball club, Ken Singleton. He's hitting .323 with 3 homers and 17 RBIs. Singleton hit .328 last year. That's the highest that any Oriole has ever hit in the season. Nobody's ever hit more than .328. Here's a strike call. That's since 1954 when they entered the American League. Baker started him up with a fastball. It is a strike on the inside corner. The only Oriole with a lifetime average higher than Singleton's at the start of this year was Bob Neiman. He had a 1-point bulge on him, 303 to 302. Here's the pitch to Ken. He takes the ball outside. So if you figure in Singleton's times at bats and hits in this season, I'm sure he'd be ahead of Neiman. No score first inning. Baker winds, delivers. There's a swing and a miss, and he got by the first inning very well. He strikes out the big hitter Singleton. It's no runs on 1 hit for Baltimore, no errors, and 1 man left. And at the end of 1, the Orioles loving the Tigers nothing.
It's time to batter up during your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth Dealers' 3rd annual honorary Tiger Bat Boy contest. This is Ernie Harwell. This year, 22 Detroit area youngsters will be selected from each Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealership to become honorary Tiger Bat Boys. It's easy to enter. If your boy or girl is between the ages of 8 and 14, bring him or her into your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer before May 31st to register. Each youngster must be accompanied by a licensed driver 18 or older. On June the 5th, there'll be a drawing to determine the winning bat boy. Then 22 games will be set aside to honor the winners. Each winner will receive a simulated Tiger uniform and tickets to the game by the family. So, batter up. Bring your youngster into your participating Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer and sign him or her up to be an honorary Tiger bat boy. There's no obligation, and we'll even give your child a free Tiger iron-on patch just for registering. Stop in today.
This is Jim Garrett. Is your future in check? Buy United States savings bonds through the payroll savings plan. They're one smart move.
McGregor gave up the hit in the opening inning. Baker gave up the hit in the opening inning. Neither team able to score. The Tigers come to bat in the second with Kemp to lead off against McGregor. The Tigers fly up to Boston tonight after this game. And Friday night, Milt Wilcox will go against Bill Lee. Saturday it'll be Dave Rosma against Louis Tiant. And Sunday in the doubleheader, Jack Bellingham and Jim Slayton versus Al Ripley and Jim Wright. The Tigers have lost 3 of their last 4, and they are now tied for second place with the Yankees in the American League East. Kemp is leading the league in walks. He has 39 in 38 games, steps up with his .302 batting average. Scott McGregor on the mound, looking in to get his sign. And kicks and deals, and Kemp takes a ball in close, ball 1. Don't forget, next Monday night, the Tigers are home. It'll be a family night game at Tiger Stadium. They'll be battling the Orioles. They'll be home for a week. Kemp swings as a line shot up the middle, base hit. It is the second Tiger hit. The ball hit on the skill of the infield between Belanger and the bag at second. Here's John Walkenfuss.
Number 14, John Walkenfuss.
John playing in right field this evening here in Baltimore. Man on first, nobody out, no score. Walkenfuss batting .324. He's collected 1 home run and knocked in 2 runs. He'll be followed by Lance Parrish. Still a good bit of daylight left here. It's almost 8 o'clock in Baltimore. The pitch is a curve low, ball 1. Rick Dempsey doing the catching. It's Dower at third, Belanger at short. Smith at second, Murray at first. In the outfield, the Birds have Kelly, Harlow, and Singleton. That's from left around toward right. Swing and a foul upstairs. 1-1, the count on Walkenfuss. Kemp on first, Murray holding on the bag with him. Now the left-hander McGregor sets, looks to first base, and flips one over there to Murray, but Kemp is back with ease. McGregor sets again, and he pitches. John swings a line drive foul by about 3 feet down in the left field corner. 1-2 the count on him. Baltimore comes in next week, and then after the Birds, it'll be Milwaukee, followed by Minnesota, after which the Tigers are on the road again. So check that schedule. Make your plans to pick up your tickets and come out and see the Tigers in action. Here's the 1-2 delivery again to Walkenfuss. And he swings and misses on a changeup. Pitch toward the outside. He swung too early. 1 out, 1 on, and here comes Parrish.
Number 13, Lance Parrish.
Last time out, McGregor didn't walk anybody. He struck out 5. He blanked the Indians 3-0 on only 4 hits. Before that, he had a 4-hitter and beat the Rangers 5-1. So he's come on strong. There's a curve low, ball 1. Lost his first 3 starts, and then they picked up his next 3 decisions. a bounding ball, deep shortstop, backhanded by Belanger, throw to second, and they get the force out. On Kemp, safe at first is Parrish. Good play by Belanger, going deep in the hole. Firing the ball over to Billy Smith for the fourth.
Third baseman, number 4, Aurelio Rodriguez.
Here's Rodriguez, who drove in the winning run in the Tiger victory in the first game last night. He has 12 RBIs, 2 home runs. He's batting .308. McGregor delivers, and Aurelio hits a bounding ball on one big hop right to Belanger. Short to throw over to Billy Smith, and the fourth out of Parrish ends the inning. For the Tigers, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. That at the end of 1.5 innings, Detroit nothing and Baltimore nothing.
When can you afford to throw money away?
Not when I shop.
Not when I drive.
Not when I go to the bank.
Small change can add up to big dollars. That's why there's a big difference between City National Bank and those other banks that charge you for writing checks.
Nobody has got what City National Bank has got.
Only City National Bank saves you money with combo checking. Keep a minimum $200 in checking or savings. You write all your checks without charge. All your checks without charge. Combo checking. No other bank in Michigan has it.
No statement fee.
No charge per check.
At City National Bank, I feel terrific because I'm not throwing money away.
Don't throw your money away. Open a City National Bank charge-free checking account now.
Who's got it? Nobody but City National Bank.
Also available at National Bank of Rochester and First Citizens Bank in Troy.
Coming to bat now against Steve Baker in the second inning. Game is scoreless. Billy Smith got the third with only 1 out in the first inning, but then Baker got Kelly on a pop-up to shortstop Wagner and struck out the cleanup man Singleton to stave off any scoring on the part of the Orioles. A couple from Washington, D.C., former Tiger fans. John Williams and Fred Gramlich up here to see the Tigers in action.
Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 33.
The Orioles are drawing quite a few folks from the Washington, D.C. area. They took a survey and found that they had quite a lot of Oriole fans down there in that area. Here's Eddie Murray now. He'll be leading it off. Murray, a .258 hitter. He has 5 home runs. He's knocked in 24 runs. Another switch batter for the Birds. Outfield plays him straight away. Steve Baker rocks and pitches. Here's a slow curve. He swings and misses. Baker works off the middle of the slab. Now gets his sign and goes into action. The fastball is over, but it's low. 1-1 the count on him. Low curve, he swings too early. He wanted to. Free Jacket Day is coming up at Tiger Stadium. It's Sunday, June the 4th. Well, the Tigers play the Minnesota Twins that afternoon at 1:30. Blue vinyl jacket with a Tiger emblem for every boy and girl 14 and under on a full-price ticket. Bounding ball up the middle, base hit. Murray makes a turn and holds on with a lead-off single. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Look for mostly fair weather through the day tomorrow. Low tonight in the low 60s. High tomorrow 83 to 87. Saturday partly sunny. High in the mid-80s. Currently a sunny 81. This is WJR Detroit.
Lee May, designated batter, hitting .243 at the plate, right-hand hitter. And he swings and fouls it away. It'll be in the seats on the first base side. Cincinnati, Houston, and Baltimore been the Major League stops for Lee May. He takes the curve outside, 1-1. Both the Baltimore hits have come with 2 strikes on the batter. Billy Smith doubled in the first inning. Murray led off the second inning with a single. Here's a cut and a miss on the changeup. May's always a big man in the RBI department. A couple of years ago, he led the league. Swing and a miss, struck him out. That looks like a fastball or maybe a hard slider toward the outside of the plate.
Seemed to tail away from him just as it reached the plate.
Here's Dempsey in a home run in the first game of the series. Right-handed batting catcher. That's his only home run this year. He has 8 runs batted in, and he's hitting .247. The infield and double play depth on Rick. And he takes a fastball over for a strike. Dempsey played with the Twins for many, many years. Never really got to see much action. The same thing happened to him with the Yankees. But he's won himself a job here in Baltimore this year. So to first. Murray back in time. No score. We're in the second inning at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. And the pitch. Dempsey takes a slow curve. It's a little high, and the count 1-1. Wilcox versus Lee tomorrow night in Fenway Park. They have sold out all those games up there in that little ballpark. Is a bounding ball to third. Rodriguez comes up with it, throw to second, another one, relay to Thompson. It is a double play, and that retires the Orioles. Third to second to first. 2 for the price of 1. No runs won it, no errors, and nobody left at the end of 2. Baltimore nothing, Detroit nothing.
Little Peter Pizza, tastiest in town. A winner anywhere slice it, all the way around. The carry of the good and hot, great for nighttime snacks. Or sit down at Little Caesars, just order and relax.
Big things are happening at Little Caesars. When you're hungry for some thick, juicy pizza with chewy cheese, spicy sauce, and freshly baked crust, try Little Caesars. It's a treat that's hard to beat. Buy 1 medium pizza and get the second one free. Just clip out the 2-for-1 free pizza coupon from your local newspaper or TV book. You won't have to come back for seconds because you'll get them free the first time around. Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it.
If you want the right thing, there's a family in for you. It's the winner community. Little Caesars, it's a Little Caesars. It's got a great tasting treat for you.
Radio 76 salutes Bruce Galbraith, recently named director of the Interlochen Academy and chairman of the Michigan Youth Arts Festival, which was held last Saturday in Mount Pleasant. Congratulations, Bruce, from WJR Radio.
No score, each club with the same totals now. No runs to it and no errors. Here's Steve Dillard to lead it out for the Tigers. Dillard batting in the number 9 spot. A man from Satia, Mississippi. Stepping in now. He was born in Memphis. Right-hand batter against the left-hander McGregor. And he takes the ball outside. Outfield slightly to right on Steve. Chokes that bat a little bit. Now cuts in, it's a looper into left field. Here comes Kelly, can't get it, drops in front. It's a single for Dillard. The third Tiger hit, 1 single per inning so far. The second time in the 3 innings, the Tigers have put the leadoff man on. Here's the league's leading stealer stepping up now around the floor. Ron hit a fly ball to single in his first trip. McGregor ready to go to work. He sets, holds it, pitches, and LaFleur takes a curve low. There's a tip foul out of the mid of Dempsey. 1-1 the count on Ron. Ron gets a lot of his hits to right field. They're playing him over that direction now. Let's see what McGregor will give him here. 1-1 count. Nope, he's going to throw to first. Dillard back easily. The heavy-hitting Tigers have not hit much in this series. Baltimore pitching has really come around for Earl Weaver. He jammed him with a fastball. 2-1 the count on LaFleur. Orioles starters have turned in 3 shutouts in the last 5 games. They've allowed only 6 earned runs in the last 53 innings when this game got underway, so you could add 2 to that. Here's the pitch. Swing, a little tapper toward third base. It'll roll foul. Picked up now by Dower. In the first 3 games of the year, Baltimore was really bombarded by the Milwaukee team. They scored 40 runs in those first 3 games against the Orioles. Got that earned run average started up in a hurry. Here's LaFleur back in the batter's box waiting on a 2-2 pitch from the left-hander McGregor. Swing, a fly ball lifted to right field, should be caught. Singleton is there waiting. He makes the catch, and Dillard retreats and holds at first base. One on, one out, and now McGregor will pitch to Wagner, who fouled to first baseman Eddie Murray the first time he came up. Baltimore pitchers have not given up a home run in the last 7 games. Little toss over to first base by McGregor, but Dillard got back safely. Now Wagner waiting on the first pitch to him in this turn at bat. 1 on, 1 out, no score, 3rd inning. He takes the ball outside. The ball 1 the count on Mark. Tigers have had 3 men at first base, but nobody's been past that base yet. McGregor ready again, and pitches. Wagner takes a slow curve, breaking in too much and a little bit low. 2-0. Waiting on deck for the Tigers, Rusty Staub. He swings. There's a bounding ball to second. Smith grabs it. Safe at second. He couldn't get there to beat Dillard. Safe at first is Wagner. He was trying to race for the bag to get the front end of what might have been a double play, but Dillard beat him to the base. And we'll wait for the scorer's decision on that one. The Tigers now have 2 men on and 1 away. It is a fielder's choice. That means the time at bat for Wagner, no hit, and Rusty Staub at the plate. Now, Dillard on at second, the first Tiger to reach that base. Wagner on at first base and 1 man down. Staub with 1 for 1 this evening. Left-hander against the left-hander. And he swings and misses. When the clubs are stealing signs, battery signs, they usually do it a lot of times with a man at second base. Dillard out there right now. Here's the set. And here's the pitch. He takes the ball low. That runner will give the batter just a move of the head. Sometimes if he looks to third, it means a fastball. If he looks to second, it'll be a curve or some such situation as that. And he can tip off the batter. Maury Wells used to be a master at that when he got on base, and he was on base a lot. Now the 1-1 pitch to Rusty Staub. 2 men on, 1 man out. No score. Rusty takes a ball in too close. 2-1 the count on him. Belanger pulled toward the middle of the diamond. That's to his glove side at shortstop. Outfield slightly to right on Rusty. The 2-1 pitch is coming up to him. McGregor sets, holds it, kicks and delivers. Rusty takes the strike. That one popped out of the mid of Dempsey out in front. 2-2. Talking about that hypothetical situation with a man at third, the tying a winning run, who would you have at bat to try to get him in? And Mickey Stanley said, well, Rusty Staub would be one of my choices. Here's the set, and the 2-2 pitch is due. Here it comes. Staub swings a bounding ball to McGregor. He throws to Belanger. 1, read at first, double play. All the Birds get 2 for the price of 1 and kill off the Tiger threat. It's no run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 man left. We go to the last half, the third now. Baltimore coming to bat, and the game's scoreless.
You're just in time for the start of the Labatt's baseball trivia game. Did Ty Cobb, the greatest batter of all time with a career average of .367, ever leave a game for a pinch hitter? Think it over a cool, refreshing Labatt's Blue. This is hard to believe, but Ty Cobb was lifted for a pinch hitter in his first season. The pinch hitter's name was Fred Payne. Payne collected a total of 194 hits in his entire career, while Cobb amassed an incredible 4,192. Great baseball calls for great beer. Labatt's Blue. Call for Labatt. Brewed in Canada since 1828. Distributed by Labatt Importers Incorporated, Buffalo, New York.
For beer at its finest, get your hands on Labatt's. It's Canada's #1 beer. As fresh and crisp as where it comes from.
Talking to Earl Weaver about that man at third base situation with 2 out. Who would he have up there to try to get the run in? And he didn't hesitate very long. He said either Frank Robinson or Brooks Robinson would be my choice. He said, I'll tell you one thing, Don Buford, one season when I had him here in Baltimore, for 19 straight times with a man at third base and 2 out, he delivered the run. Said he went into the month of September before he failed to deliver a man from third base in that situation. Here's Belanger at the plate now to lead it off. Mark batting .245, no homers and 4 runs batted in. He's the number 8 hitter in Weaver's batting order, to be followed by Rich Dower, and then they go to the top of the order, Larry Harlow, against the Tiger right-hander Steve Baker, making his big league debut. Belanger looks at a curve in for a strike. 3 hits for the Tigers, 2 for the Orioles. Double by Smith and a single by Murray for Baltimore. Baker delivers. It is a cut and a miss on a fastball. Strike 2, the count on Belanger. No score, third inning. Belanger pops it foul off the first base. Here comes Thompson. He has room. He makes the catch. 1 away, and Dower will be the batter now, the third baseman.
Batting ninth, the third baseman, number 25.
You know, in all your discussion about that hypothetical case, nobody's brought up Charlie Gehringer. And when I was a kid, I always hoped Charlie would be at bat when the Tigers would get somebody in scoring position.
Well, I think that'd be a great choice. Johnny Noon is here tonight, incidentally, one-time Tiger. The old triple play man. There's a curve across.
Speaking of triple plays, Ron Hansen here throws batting practice for the Orioles.
Looks like he's in pretty good shape, too. He's an insurance man around Baltimore. There's a fastball in close, 1-1.
the last one to pull one, isn't he? Unassisted.
Yes, sirree. Here's the motion now, the pitch. It is a curve a little bit low, 2-1. Swing and a foul back.
They're aiming at us tonight, Ernie.
We're right on target with those right-hand hitters up. Now, the booth is just a little bit to the right of home plate here.
I think we better move. They're zeroing in.
There's a foul up in the mezzanine. Young lady from Towson caught that one.
Now, how would you know that?
Oh, I could just tell by the look. Here's the pitch. Swing, a fly ball, hit the right field. Coming in, Wackenfuss, running hard. He's there. He's got it. The ball came over, and John Wackenfuss made the catch. John Wackenfuss made the catch. Here's Larry Harlow now stepping in with 2 outs. First time that young Steve Baker has retired the first 2 Orioles in an inning. Smith doubled with 1 out in the first. Murray singled to lead off the second inning. Smith got as far as third on a pass ball, but died there when Kelly hopped to short, and then singled and struck out. Harlow takes a high, hard one. Ball 1. So far, Baker has struck out 2. No score, third inning. Here's a swing and a miss. Harlow stepping out of the batter's box. Now he's back in there waiting on the 1-1 delivery. No score in the third. Here's a pitch. It is a breaking ball just outside. When Baker has missed the strike zone, he's been only a fraction of an inch away from it. Now Harlow ahead of him, 2-1 pitch. He swings as a long belt to right field. Might be out of here. Watkins back, and it's gone. A home run in the Tiger bullpen. 1-0 Baltimore. Home run number 3 for Larry Harlow. He got the fastball about belt high, and he hit it hard right at the 378-foot marker. That's the first Major League run allowed by young Steve Baker, and it comes on a home run. Here's Billy Smith up now. He doubled his first time at bat.
Second baseman, Billy Smith.
Wind up on the pitch to the left-hand hitting Smith, and it's the ball outside on Billy, ball 1. 1-0. The Orioles lead it over the Tigers in the third inning. Smith takes a wide one, 2-0 the count now. Each team with 3 hits, and the Orioles have the game's only run on that homer by Larry Harlow here in the third inning. There's a strike called. Luciano said so. And the count is 2-1 now on Billy Smith. Outfield plays him straight away. Baker fires. There's a base hit to right. Watkins comes to the glove side to field the ball on 3 skips and rifles it back into Dillard at second base. Oh, Smith has 2 for 2 off the rookie right-hander. And it will now be Pat Kelly stepping up.
And Smith has 5 straight hits because he was 3 for 3 last night.
That was a good, clean blow to right field off the bat of Billy Smith. Kelly takes a practice swing and steps in. He pops the shortstop. Wagner his only time up. Baltimore leads 1-0 in the third. Pat stands forward in the batter's box, and he's very near the plate. Quick, short stroke. There he swings and fouls it away. It'll be in the upper deck, back of third. Still daylight here in Baltimore. Next series for the Tigers will be at Fenway Park in Boston. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday doubleheader. We'll be there for all of them. We hope you'll join us. Kelly takes a high one, 1-1, the count on Pat. Thompson holding on the base with Billy Smith. Not much of a lead for Billy right now. And Kelly takes a ball that's over but high. Two on the count on Kelly. Rodriguez wide of the back at third base. Keep an eye on Billy Smith. He lengthens that lead over there at first. And Kelly takes an inside fastball, 3-1. Baker's not been behind on many Baltimore hitters, but he's behind now on Kelly. And the cleanup man Singleton waits on deck for the Birds. Here's a 3-1 pitch coming up to Pat Kelly. He steps out for a moment. Now back into the batter's box to wait on Steve Baker. Steve checks his time with Parrish, and time called by Luciano. Kelly again out of the batter's box. He takes a walk, and it's a low fastball. That'll be the first walk. Here comes Ralph Houck out now. Ralph doesn't have anybody throwing in the bullpen. I think he just wants this trip to try to settle down the young right-hander Baker in his big league debut. Earl Weaver was telling us before the ball game, we talked about the St. Louis Browns, and he said, well, my dad used to clean uniforms for the Browns. I would always deliver the uniforms, and I used to work out with the Browns a lot, and they gave me a chance to sign with them, but they told me that I couldn't run, and I couldn't hit, and I couldn't throw. I didn't have too much of a chance, and then the Cardinals took me up in the press box, and one of the scouts said, young man, you can be playing out there at second base for the next 10 years, so he signed with the Cardinals. Weaver never really made it to the big leagues as a player, but he's been considered one of the top managers of the game. Well, here's Singleton up. The conference is over. Orioles lead 1-0. Singleton struck out the first time. Now Baltimore has 2 men on and 2 men out. Left-hand batter waiting on the right-hand pitcher. There's a slow curve over on Ken for a strike. It's Smith at second and Kelly at first base. They got their run on a homer by Harlow here in the third inning. There's a swing and a fly ball to short left field. Here comes Kemp. He's got a long run, running hard. He's got it. Good running catch by Kemp. He was playing fairly deep for a left-handed batter, and he had a long way to go, and he pulled that one out of the air. So it's 1 run for the Birds. And he gets 2 hits and a walk. No errors. 2 runners are left. At the end of 3 in the final game of the series in Baltimore, the Orioles won, the Tigers nothing.
Here's an important message from Marathon for homeowners who heat with fuel oil. This announcement can mean important dollars in your pocket if you act before June 1st. During Marathon's introductory offer, you can save a full $20 on the purchase of a new Honeywell Fuel Oil Saver thermostat when you sign up for their burner service plan. You can buy the regular $79.95 Honeywell thermostat for just $59.95 and then be in a position to possibly save up to 20% on heating costs thereafter. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Residents of Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties can learn more about this special offer and Marathon's 12-month budget plan by calling Marathon toll-free at 1-800-552-8950. Take advantage of this chance to save $20 right now and possibly save even bigger dollars on heating costs later on. The introductory offer expires June 1st, so call Marathon now at 1-800-552-8950.
The Weatherwise know what's coming and why, and the WJR Weather Center is the reason. I'm Mal Sillers. Join us every day on WJR Radio 76.
The difference in the game. Baltimore leads 1-0. Let's take in the 4th inning now with Paul Carey.
All right, Ernie, thank you. Jason Thompson will lead it off against the left-hander Scott McGregor here in the fourth. Jason ended the first inning by flying out to center. And a real pattern in this series for the Tigers. In the first inning, it's been the same every one of the four games. First two Tigers up went out. Staub would single, and Thompson would make the third out. Tigers have collected a single in each of the first three innings off Scott McGregor. He struck out one and walked none. Here's the windup in the first pitch to Jason. He swings and bounces a foul at the plate, rolling over toward the on-deck circle. 1 run on 4 hits for Baltimore, no runs, 3 hits for the Tigers. Conference at the mound, Rick Dempsey goes out to have a word with McGregor. 24-year-old in a hot streak right now. A couple of 4 hitters behind him in his last 2 starts against Cleveland and Texas. Gave up 1 run in 1 game and shut out the foe in the other. As a bouncer down the first base line, McGregor goes over, fields it, and makes the play unassisted, racing to the bag ahead of Thompson. Well, there's 1 away in the 4th inning. He had his momentum carrying him right to the bag at first, and rather than chance a throw, he decided to make the play by himself. Here's Steve Kemp, who singled sharply to center his first time up. Steve, as Ernie has pointed out, is leading the league in walks, averaging, actually 1 more than the total number of games. He has 39 and 38 games, averaging 1 a ball game. Steve is looking at the pitches a little longer, and that kind of explains why Steve is not pulling the ball this year. When he's been getting his hits, generally they've been to left field or up the middle. Here's the windup of the pitch to him. Fastball is outside, ball 1. 1 out, bases empty, top of the 4th inning here at Memorial Stadium. Kemp takes low and away, 2-0. Oh, a man at third base, a former teammate at Steve's, Rich Dower down there for Baltimore, out at Southern California. Ball 3, fastball just outside. He didn't miss by much. Here's the windup by Scott. He kicks and fires. Ball 4. That was a fastball. It was over but too low, and Kemp gets another walk. That's the first base on balls given up by McGregor.
Right fielder.
John Walkenfuss will be the batter now. John struck out on a changeup his first time up. So the Tigers have a man on with 1 down, trailing it 1-0. They swing a little bit to the left on the right hand hitting Walkenfuss. Here's the pitch to him. He swings and lets the fly ball to left field. Kelly backs up a little bit to his left. He makes the catch. And a bluff by Kemp at first. The throw right to the bag at second. A fine throw by Kelly. Now there are 2 down in the Tiger 4th inning. And Lance Parrish will be the batter. Before he bats, let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Checking the weather for Greater Detroit, mostly fair through tomorrow. Low tonight, low 60s. High tomorrow, 83 to 87. And Saturday, partly sunny, continued warm, high in the mid-80s. Right now, hazy and 77. This is WJR Detroit.
Parrish bounced into a force his first time up. Kemp at first with 2 down. Parrish locking that left knee, putting his weight on the rear leg, the right. Here's the pitch to him. Swings and fouls one down the third base line. Bounces off the barrier in front of the field seats and onto the field of play. Not a great deal of room in foul territory here at Memorial Stadium. Behind the plate, not much room for the catcher to go back. On the seats, swing out to the foul line. Only about, say, 240 feet down the line. There's a pitch high and wide. A ball and a strike on Parrish. very nice, summery evening here in Baltimore. Chuck Thompson saying probably the finest night they've had for baseball this year. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a foul fly into the seats down the right field side. Tigers will begin a 4-game series in Boston tomorrow night. And I understand that all 4 games have been, the 3 dates, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, have been sold out in Fenway Park. Milt Wilcox to go for Detroit tomorrow against Bill Lee. They matched up last Sunday in Detroit. Here's the set. The pitch to Parrish. Swung on and missed. He struck him out, and that's all for the Tigers in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, a walk, no errors. They leave a man. After 3.5 innings, it's Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing.
It's time to batter up during your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth Dealers 3rd Annual Honorary Tiger Bat Boy Contest. This is Ernie Harwell. This year, 22 Detroit area youngsters will be selected from each Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealership to become honorary Tiger Bat Boys. It's easy to enter. If your boy or girl is between the ages of 8 and 14, bring him or her into your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer before May 31st to register. Each youngster must be accompanied by a licensed driver 18 or older. On June the 5th, there will be a drawing to determine the winning bat boys. Then 22 games will be set aside to honor the winners. Each winner will receive a simulated Tiger uniform and tickets to the game by the family. So, batter up. Bring your youngster into your participating Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer and sign him or her up to be an honorary Tiger Bat Boy. There's no obligation, and we'll even give your child a free Tiger iron-on patch just for registering. Stop in today.
Baker, the 21-year-old out of California, getting his major league debut, starting against the Baltimore Orioles tonight, yielded a home run to the leadoff man, Larry Harlow. It came with 2 out, actually, in the 3rd inning. Well, the game's only run. Baker's allowed a total of 4 hits. He's walked a man and has 2 strikeouts. It's a good-looking breaking ball. For the most part, he's been able to use that breaking ball extremely effectively against the Orioles tonight. Here's Eddie Murray leading it off, and he takes one low for a ball. Murray switch hitting, batting left-handed. He singled to right center his first time up. The pitch from Baker. Slow curve, tapped foul, rolling behind to the backstop. Baker, a power pitcher for the most part, but his curve looks real good. It's high and wide for a ball, 2-1. Has a nice, easy motion on the mound. Very fluid. Started into the windup, but Murray had called time at the plate. May and Dempsey will follow here in the 4th inning for Baltimore. Here's the windup, the 2-1 pitch. Slow curve is outside. 3-1 now on Murray. Last year's Rookie of the Year in the balloting of the baseball writers, Mitchell Page of Oakland, also copped the award in another poll. Semi-crouch by Murray, wig wagon, a dark bat. He waits for 3-1 pitch. Strike called. He slipped the fastball on the inside corner. Murray straightened up, but it caught the corner. Full count on him. Here's the windup by Baker, and the pitch. Line foul into the stands. Look out. That hit an exit way and then bounces down the 3rd row in the field seat. That's the easy way to get him. Let the seats or the exit take the sting out of him. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He went after a pitch that was way inside around the ankles. Tried to gulp it, but he committed himself. It's another strikeout for Baker, his 3rd of the ball game. Big breaking ball by Baker that time. There's Lee May. He struck out his first time up. Baker into the windup. Here's the pitch to May. Swung on. There's a hard shot into left field. Beyond the reach of Rodriguez. A single. One hop out of the infield. May is on with a one-out single here in the fourth inning. Orioles have had at least one hit in each of the first 4 innings off the rookie Baker. And it will bring up Rick Dempsey. Dempsey hit into a double play, his first time at the plate tonight. He's a right-handed batter. Into the stretches, Baker. The pitch swung on and foul to the screen. May has a short lead at first. It's not a great base-running threat. Tigers playing straight up on Dempsey and in double play depth in the infield. Thompson, though, is holding on the bag with May. Here's the pitch. Dempsey squares, bumps foul over toward the on-deck circle. Steve's last outing was Friday against Oklahoma City down in Evansville. He didn't go all the way. Pitched 7 innings on that occasion and was not the pitcher of record in an Evansville victory. Bruce Taylor got it in relief. Of his 4 victories, he has turned in a couple of shutouts. That's Moss's team at Evansville, really rolling this year. They were, they were rained out last night. They were 29-8 prior to that. There's a set by Baker, and a toss to first, driving May back to the bag. Two strikes on Rick Dempsey. The pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Ooh, what a big off-speed breaking ball. Came in like a balloon to Dempsey, but he still couldn't hit it. 2 out in the 4th inning. That's Baker's 4th strikeout. That Baker's breaking ball that has been fooling the Orioles here tonight. Haven't seen much in the way of a slider, a couple of them, and that's about it. Here's the set by him. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on. The throw to second, and safe at second is Lee May. It was, let's see if he swung on it. Did he rule it a ball? It looked like Belanger checked his swing, and I thought he'd gone too far, but apparently it was a ball. Belanger is checking with Luciano, and Lee May stunned everybody by getting a stolen base. Let's check and see if he's had any before this season. Nope. I mean, before in this season. He'd been caught once, so he's 500. May at second. That was an off-speed pitch again from Baker. The pitch to Mark. He swings. There's a fly ball to right center field. LaFleur should have it. He's there. Makes the catch. And that's all for the Orioles in the 4th inning. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 left after 4 innings of play. It's the Orioles 1, the Tigers nothing.
Well, I remember way back in 62, and those magic moments with Mary Lou, hanging out at the drive-in in my 57 Ford V8.
Hey, Rocky, I bet my Ford's better than your Ford.
Oh, yeah? What do you got in that thing?
Yeah, well, I got a new set of Champion Plus.
Oh, well.
Hey, listen, man, I just remembered I got to get my dovetail trimmed, right? Hey, Rocky, I bet my Pinto gets better mileage than your Pinto.
Oh, yeah? Tell me, what do you got in that thing?
Yeah, well, I got a new set of Champion Plus.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I got a split. I just remembered I got to get a hair transplant, right? Hey, times change, man.
Buy a better plug for any kind of car than Champion. You can buy a better plug no matter where you are than Champion. Champion number 1 in the world. Number 1 in your car.
Did you know the most errors in a game by a team is 12? And that Chicago and, you guessed it, Detroit share the dubious honor. I'm Frank Beckman, WJR Sports.
One nothing as the Tigers come to bat here in the 5th inning against the left-hander Scott McGregor. The Tiger hitters have been quieted during this series. Tigers have managed just 3 runs now in a total of 31 innings. Aurelio Rodriguez to lead it off for the Tigers in the 5th. He'll be followed by Dillard and LaFleur. McGregor studying the sign from Dempsey. Into the motion. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner for a strike on Aurelio. He ran up on the ball and then really didn't offer. These Orioles will be in Detroit beginning next Monday night. A brief 2-game series with the Orioles. It starts a 7-game homestand with the Tigers. Swing and a miss. He was out in front of the changeup. 2 quick strikes on Aurelio. McGregor ready. Delivers to the plate. Ground ball over the mound. In behind second is Belanger. He's got it to throw. He got him at first base. Good stretch by Murray. Throw by Mark was a little high, but Belanger got in behind second in a hurry to take the high hopper. 1 away in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Dillard, who singled to left his first time up.
Dillard.
Here's the lineup by McGregor. The left-hander deals. It's outside. And low ball 1, squirming off the mid of Rick Dempsey. That Tiger homestand includes the 2 games with the Orioles. And then Milwaukee comes in. And then Minnesota. There's a little fly ball to short left field. It may drop in. It does. Another hits the same way for Steve Dillard. Soft fly ball dropping in between Belanger and Kelly. Dillard is 2 for 2, a man on with 1 down in the Tiger 5th inning. That's hit number 4 for the Tigers. And here's Ron LaFleur, who has twice flied to Singleton and right. Ron's batting average slipping down. 0 for 2 tonight. He was 269 coming into the ball game. Out of the reverse of last year, Ron started out very poorly and then really brought it up from late May on. Here's the set, the pitch from McGregor. Swung on and missed. Fastball, and he blew it right by him. McGregor lost his first 3 decisions, has won 3 in a row. Dillard with a short lead at first. LaFleur figures McGregor took too long. He backs out of the batter's box. Now the stretch. Scott looks to first. He pitches. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Tigers entered the night's action in second place, tied with the Yankees. Both of them 1 game back to the Boston Red Sox. And the Tigers can do something about that, both tonight and over the next 4 games up in Boston. There's a ground ball to short. Belanger gobbles it up. Throw to second. No relay to first. No chance to get LaFleur. Dillard came in with his spikes flashing in the lights here, too, at Billy Smith. He decided not to let fire. So LaFleur safe at first, and LaFleur at second. 2 down, and Mark Wagner will be the batter. Wagner's popped foul to first, and then bounced into a fielder's choice. He was safe on it, but at the time at bat. Chokes up on the bat slightly, leans over. McGregor looks at LaFleur. Here's the pitch to the plate. Strike called on Mark. May holding at first. Pretty good lead for LaFleur. The pitch. Swung on and bounced foul into the Oriole dugout. Tigers have lined up Wilcox tomorrow night, then Rosemont Saturday afternoon. In the doubleheader Sunday, Billingham and Slayton to face the Red Sox. And the Sox will counter with Lee tomorrow, Tiant Saturday, and Alan Ripley and Jim Wright in the twin bill on Sunday. The pitch to Wagner, way outside. 1-2 on Mark. Mark did not see action in either of the ball games here last night. Here's the set, and then he straddles the slab. McGregor looking right at LaFleur. Toss to first, and Ron gets back. One nothing. Baltimore leads here in the top of the fifth inning. On the third inning, homer by Harlow. Here's the set, the pitch to the plate. Wagner cuts and misses, struck him out. That's all for the Tigers in the fifth inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one left. After 4.5 innings, it remains Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing.
Difference of this game is one big blow, a home run by Harlow. It came off the rookie Steve Baker, making his debut, and the home run came with 2 out in the third inning. As he hit one into the Tiger bullpen, it was the third home run of the year for Harlow. The Orioles had picked up 4 hits off Baker, 1 each in the first 2 innings, and then 2 in the third, and then they've added 1 in the fourth inning, so making a total of 5 off Baker. The Tigers, meanwhile, have been getting just about a runner per inning, but they haven't been able to push anybody across the plate. They've had a single by Staub, a single by Kemp, and 2 singles by Dillard, but a double play in the third inning killed off one of their biggest threats of the game so far against the left-hander Scott McGregor. 1-0 Baltimore.
Peter Curtis of Arlington, Virginia, and Frank Thorpe of Alexandria, Virginia. Thank you.
Bottom of the fifth inning here in Baltimore. Rich Dower at the bottom of the batting order to lead it off for Baltimore. Had 5 games this afternoon in the majors, 3 in the National League and 2 in the American League, and not a great deal going tonight.
Third baseman.
In the only National League game tonight after 3 innings, Pittsburgh leads New York 1-0. In the American League at Toronto, the Red Sox 2, the Blue Jays 2 after 4 innings. The Yankees lead Cleveland 3-0 after 2 innings. Chicago and California not yet underway. Here's the pitch to Dower. He swings. There's a single to left center field. The floor over to cut it off. Dower swings on the first pitch and picks up his first hit. Well, the Orioles again collecting at least a hit in every inning. Larry Harlow coming up. A man whose drive into the Tiger bullpen in the third inning has made the difference in the game.
Larry Harlow.
This afternoon in the American League, Texas beat Minnesota 7-1. The Rangers had 5 runs in the 8th inning in that one. Fergie Jenkins upped his record to 5-2 while Serum took the loss. Kansas City beat Seattle 9-4. Paul Sporthoff ended a string of 4 straight losses to pick up the win. And Glenn Abbott took the loss. So to first, Dower gets back. The National League, Montreal bombed St. Louis 11-2. The Cardinals finally ended that 11-game losing streak last night and then lost big today. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Harlow. The Cubbies are coming on strong in first place in the Eastern Division of the National League. They beat the Phillies 5-1. Rick Russell besting Steve Carlton. And the Giants defeated Houston 9-1. The Astros can't get on track. The pitch from Baker. Curve is outside for a ball, 1-1 on Harlow. Harlow has been with the Orioles ever since 1970. Stayed in the minors for a long time. He runs up, takes a high curve outside. 2-1 on Harlow. Baker into the set now and snaps a throw to first, but Dower gets back. He's at first with nobody out. 6 hits off for rookie Steve Baker. Here's the pitch. Swung on. There's a hard smash. 1-hop glove by Dillard. The flip to Wagner for 1. The relay. Double play. Bauer barely got away from first base. That ball was hit so sharply, he knew he didn't have a chance to even bother with it going down to second. Dillard made a good play. He backhanded that ball as it was headed toward right center field. Very sharply hit by Harlow, but there are 2 outs, nobody on. And the batter will be Billy Smith, who has collected 5 straight hits, 3 for 3 last night, and a double and a single his first times up here against Baker this evening. Here's the windup, and the pitch swung on, a base hit to right field, 3 for 3 again tonight for Billy Smith. Just met it and bumped it into right field. Here's Kelly. Smith at first with 2 away. Well, Smith has done wonders with his batting average. He was hitting below 200 before seeing action in a second game last night. Now by Baker. Here's the pitch. The curve is high to Kelly for ball 1. Pat popped out in his first trip to the plate, then he walked in the third. Veteran having a good start this year for Baltimore. Baker straddles the slab, dropping Smith back to the bag. 1-0 Baltimore leads. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Another tight game between these 2 ball clubs. They've all been close and well pitched. Throw to first. Back in time is Smith. Kelly has bounced around a bit, playing for the Twins, the Royals, the White Sox, and the Orioles since '67. Smash up a little in the center field. A base hit right through the box. Headed around second for third is Smith. He'll make it easily. Before puts the ball into Dillard. Runners at first and third with 2 down. Third hit in the inning for the Orioles, but they haven't scored. Now to bring up Singleton, and it causes some stirring out on the Tiger bullpen. Jim Crawford is getting up. Singleton has struck out against Baker and hit a pop fly to left. Kemp made a fine catch. There's a foul to the screen. 1 strike on Kemp. Kemp's a big one. He's 6'4", 213 pounds. Bats both ways. Runners at the corners now with 2 down. The pitch from Baker. Kelly goes. The pitch is taken for a strike. The throw, and safe at second is Kelly. Oh, Wagner thought he had it. Holding at third was Smith. So Kelly gets the stolen base. Pitch was taken by Singleton for strike 2. It was an off-speed pitch from Baker, helping Kelly acquire second base, but a very close play down there. Second and third and 2 down. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Way high. Shakes off one sign. Now another from Parrish. Flips to third. The 1-2 pitch. Singleton takes strike 3 called. And that's all for the Birds. In the 5th inning, Singleton becomes Baker's 5th strikeout victim. For the Orioles, no runs despite 3 hits. No Tiger errors and 2 are left on base. After 5 innings, Baltimore 1, Detroit 0.
Possess a great fastball, but he mixes up his pitches very well, has that excellent change. Another one a little too low, but you would like to keep it low, but he's just missing a bit too low each time on Hobson. Here's the 3-0 pitch to him. Ball 4, he walked him. And that gives the Red Sox a runner with 1 down here in the 4th inning. A That's the second walk given up by Rosie. And it'll bring up Dwight Evans.
Commercial presented in behalf of Ernie Harwell by WJR. This game is being brought to you by Labatt's. For beer at its finest, call for Labatt's. By Marathon dealers and distributors, people who've got together to do it better. By the Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealers who've got Horizon, Motor Trend's Car of the Year. By Champion Spark Plugs. You can't buy a better plug than Champion. By the Detroit News. For the first good news in sports every morning, read the new Detroit News AM edition. By City National Bank, where you can get combo checking. And by Little Caesars Pizza, a winner any way you slice it. Now, more Tiger baseball action with Ernie Harwell and Paul Carey.
Rusty Staub leading it off for the Tigers here in the top of the sixth inning. Rusty is 1 for 2. He singled in the first inning. The pitch from McGregor. He takes a strike. Tigers have 4 singles, 2 of them by Dillard, 1 by Staub, 1 by Kemp. Staub swings, fly ball lifted to right field. Singleton started back, now comes in. He's there and makes the catch. 1 out in the Tigers' 6th inning. Ernie put it right when he said that the pitching has come around for Earl Weaver and the Orioles. They have really gotten some solid pitching in this series. And it was destroying them early in the season. Thompson 0 for 2. Jason flied to center his first time up, then bounced out to the pitcher the last trip. Jason had a couple of hits in each of the 2 ball games last night. He's moved up among the leaders in hits in the league with a total of 50. McGregor, the left-hander, into the motion. The pitch to Thompson. He moved him back from the plate with a fastball. Ball 1 on Jason. 8 hits for the Orioles, 4 for the Tigers. 1-0 Baltimore. Ball 2 inside to Thompson. Now McGregor into the motion. Here's the pitch. Swung on. A ground ball through the box. Behind second, Smith has it. The throw. He's got it. Thompson is out number 2 here in the 6th inning. And that'll leave it up to Steve Kemp. The Orioles are counting their jacket day, which will be after we leave town here tomorrow night. And the Tigers have their first big gift day of the year coming up, Jacket Day as well, on Sunday, June 4th. A week from Sunday when the Minnesota Twins are at Tiger Stadium for a single game. Kemp at the plate, the pitch to him. Check swing foul over the Orioles dugout. The Tigers come home after the series in Boston this weekend. They'll meet Baltimore for 2 games, Milwaukee for 2, and Minnesota for 3. Then they'll go out of town briefly to Milwaukee again for a 2-game trip and come home to play Kansas City and Milwaukee. There's a bouncer foul. Kemp losing his helmet, overswinging on that pitch. 2 strikes on Kemp. Steve taking his time getting back into the batter's box now. Kemp's on base percentage, a healthy .464 this season. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Strike call. He almost came from first base to get one past Steve that time. McGregor's 4th strikeout, and the Tigers get on 1, 2, 3 in the 6th inning. The Orioles come to bat in their half. It's now Baltimore 1, Detroit 0.
When it's time for a change, what you'd probably like to have is a change for the better. That's why Marathon came up with new Ultra D motor oil. It is definitely a change for the better. Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a change for better gas mileage.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change for improved engine protection.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change that means faster starts no matter what the temperature.
A change for the better.
Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a special blend, natural and
when OTR gets together with the engine of your car, things do get better.
Sixth inning, and before the Orioles ballots pause for station identification, this is the Detroit Tiger, baseball network.
You're listening to WJR Detroit, and the weather mostly fair through tomorrow. Low tonight 60 to 63, high tomorrow in the mid-80s, and Saturday partly sunny and a high again in the mid-80s. Currently, it's clear and 77 degrees.
Eddie Murray, who has led off 3 times, 3 innings in this game, will lead it off here in the 6th inning. The pitch from Steve Baker. Curve is swung on and missed. That off-speed breaking ball of Baker's. He's got a big hook. Murray has singled and struck out against Baker. 1-0 Baltimore as Baker delivers. Another slow curve, this one outside, and Murray didn't go after it. Murray had that fine rookie year last year, set an Orioles club record for home runs by a rookie with 27 of them. Time is called. Murray backs out. Here's the lineup, the 1-1 pitch. All inside to Murray. He'll be followed by May and Dempsey in the Orioles batting order in the 6th inning. Now Baker delivers foul to behind the plate to the screen. 2-2 count on Murray. Well, Evansville got rained out of their game last night. Montgomery swept both ends of a doubleheader at Chattanooga in the Southern League last night. Slow curve is high to Murray, Paul. It's a full count now. Mike Chris went all the way to win the opener. Dan Peepery went all the way to win the nightcap for Eddie Brinkman's team at Montgomery. Fouled back into the mezzanine level. Count remains full on Murray. Lakeland went to Winter Haven and got a victory last night in the Florida State League, 7-5. Here's the pitch to Murray. Fouled again behind the plate. To the press box and right back out again. Young man pitching for the Lakeland Tigers is from Flat Rock, Michigan. Town that boasts Fred Glading as a native. Dave Steffen. I saw play a lot of football in the state championship game a couple of years ago for Flat Rock. Now a pitcher for Lakeland. There's a strike called on Murray. He started to first, and he's out of there. Oh, he swings the bat, the handle of the bat. And missed the dirt. Good thing, he had broken the bat. Murray strikes out for the second time. That's the 6th strikeout for Baker. Here's Lee May, who has fanned and singled. Baker rocks back. Here's a pitch to the plate. Oh, he almost hit him. Well, deep knee bends that time by Lee May on that inside fastball around the chin. Baker ready. Delivers. Swung on. There's a drive deep to left field. It is hooking. It is a foul ball by about 3 feet down in the corner. Baker, after his first year in organized ball, 76, pitching for Lakeland, the last couple of years, last year at Montgomery and while at Evansville this season, has had an excellent strikeout-walk ratio, about 2-to-1. Here's the pitch from Baker. Curve just outside. 2 balls and a strike on Lee May. One out, nobody on. Bottom of the 6th inning. Baker delivers. Ball 3. They almost went fishing. May has the distinction of having hit home runs in 29 different major league ballparks. Having been in the National American Leagues and hitting a lot of home runs. Foul behind the plate. Full count now on May. Definite full hitter. They pitch to him. Check swing. Baker. Baker's built considerably like Tim Cochran, the Tiger right fielder. A little stockier than Tim. They walk the same, appear to be the same, about the same height. The pitch from Baker, swung on and popped foul behind the plate. He jammed him that time. Dempsey right on the fist. Rick is hit into a double play and struck out swinging. Lee May is at first base with one down. Back in the third inning, Larry Harlow hit a home run for Baltimore, and that's the difference in the ball game. The pitch from Baker. High curve inside. One strike on Rick Dempsey. There's a closed stance at the plate. Grips the bat way at the bottom. Toss to first, May gets back. After having him steal a base in the fourth inning, they're a little more concerned about Lee May. He gets back again. Here's the stretch. The pitch from Baker. Inside with a fastball, 2-1. Now Baker glances to first. The 2-1 pitch, swung on, popped in the air out behind second. Coming in from right field is Walkinshaw. Dillard going back, he calls for it. And Steve makes the catch. Well, there are two down in the sixth inning. Bring up Mark Belanger. Talking with Mark before the ball game, he did not see action in the, did not start the second game of the doubleheader last evening. And Bo Weaver has been doing that this year and last with Mark, has been resting him in doubleheaders, playing him just one game. Here's the set, the pitch. Swung on, there's a fly ball to left, it's fairly deep, Kemp goes back. The room. The edge of the warning track makes the catch. Well, that's all for the Orioles in the sixth inning. No runs, no hits the first time in an inning this game. One walk, no errors, and one man left on base. After 6 innings of play, it's still Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing.
For this break in the action, here's a WJR News update. President Carter announced at a news conference in Chicago today that he has begun a full-scale review of the laws that prevent him from helping foreign allies like Zaire. And he pledged that Africa won't become another Vietnam for the United States. At least 120 people have died. Hundreds more have collapsed in a stifling heat wave in India. Temperatures reached 117 degrees in the shade in New Delhi. The Treasury Department says the federal budget will be $53 billion in the red by the end of the fiscal year. That's September 30th. Despite a $6.6 billion surplus for the month of April. Here in Michigan, a General Telephone Company operator has been fired after being accused of vandalism against company equipment. Detroit Edison says it will not go to court to start the scheduled end of their 92-year-old free light bulb exchange program. That program ends at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And the Detroit Recorder's Court judge and 5 high-powered attorneys have been nominated for federal judgeships by Senator Ronald Reagan. This has been a news update from the WJR Newsroom.
It's been another well-pitched ball game. Steve Baker in his major league debut has hung in there tough. He gave up a third-inning home run to Larry Harlow, the only run of the ball game. Scott McGregor has been that much tougher, however, shutting out the Tigers on 4 hits through the first 6 innings. The 7th about it again, and here's Ernie Harwell.
Thank you, Paul. And the left-hander McGregor ready to go to work, and Watkins falls out of the batter's box, now back in, and the pitch is swung on, hit in the right center field. Digging is Harlow. He's on the run to make the catch. That's the man that took a home run away from Watkins in the opening game of the series. He made a good running catch there, but he didn't sparkle on that one the way he did when he took the home run away from John. 0 for 3 now for Watkins. Here's Parrish. He is 0 for 2. He's hit into fourth and struck out. For the Tigers have all been in singles off McGregor. He's been super tough. Swing is a fly ball to left field deep. Kelly going back at the wall. He reaches up. He walks. It is the home run for Parrish to tie the game at 1-1. Number 5, the last Parrish has just cleared the canvas area over the glove of Pat Kelly, who seemed to have a shot at it, and then it just eluded him and over the fence. That's another Superior home run. Lance's homer earned him a free case of those crispy fresh Superior potato chips. There's another case of Superior potato chips to the Emmett County Medical Facility. Game tied, 1-1. The first extra base blow for the Tigers, and it went all the way. Well, these two clubs have now traded home runs. Harlow in the third for Baltimore, Parrish in the seventh for the Tigers. Here's Rodriguez, and it's a ball outside. Left-hander ready to go to work now. Here's a swing and a foul fly back of the plate. Simpson near the seat. Reaching in, and he can't quite get it. He had to fight a fan for it. And the fan won out. Ball was over the barrier, and the spectators got a right to that ball. Well, that's the home run by Parrish means the Tigers have scored for the first time since the first inning of the first game of the doubleheader. Is that right, last night?
No, the ninth inning. We had
the ninth.
The winning run in the ninth inning.
Yeah, that's right. Rodriguez knocked in that winning run. That's right.
About a total of 15 innings they've gone scoreless.
Still a long time. Here's a pitch. He swings and grounds one down past third base, foul. 1 run, 8 hits for Baltimore. 1 run, 5 hits for the Tigers. Neither team's made an error. McGregor checking his sign with Dempsey ready to go into action again. Here's the left-hander. He kicks and deals. Here's a swing and a fly ball down the line and right. Singleton digging hard for this one. Going to the glove side. He's got it. Good running catch by Ken. And a long way to go. He pulled over in right center on the right hand hitting Rodriguez. Here's Dillard who's popped a couple of short singles on the left. 2 for 2 for Steve. Dillard. Parrish has tied the game in the seventh inning. It is 1-1 in Baltimore. He swings and misses on a high hard one. Ron Luciano umpiring behind the bat tonight. Garcia, Visaggio, and Charlock are on the bases. Now the motion by McGregor. He pitches. Dillard swings on the bounding ball to the right side of the infield. Murray has it. He throws the pitch to McGregor in time for the out. They made a good combination there. Murray roamed wide to his right to get the grounder. McGregor bounced off the mound to cover first base. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. None left. We go the last half of the seventh in Baltimore. Detroit 1, the Birds 1.
No charge checking. Other banks make it tougher. City National makes it easier. Now, while other banks are increasing the minimum savings balance you need for no charge checking, CNB lowers it with combo checking.
Nobody has got what City National Bank has got.
That's right. Some banks are raising the minimum savings requirement to a whopping $500, but CNB lowers it to $200. A $200 minimum balance in savings or a $200 minimum balance in your checking account, and you check without charge. $200 in savings or $200 in checking, and you write all the checks you want without charge. All your checks without charge. Other banks make no charge checking tougher. Combo checking makes it easier.
Who's got it? Nobody but City National Bank.
Member FDIC.
And you've heard it many, many times. Well, Mr. Baker ready to go to work now. Rich Dow will lead it off for the Birds in their 7th inning. 1-1 deadlock. Right-hand batter takes a curve and misses the outside corner. Dower has flied to right and singled. The Orioles have 8 hits off Baker, who's making his big league debut tonight for the Tigers. There's a fastball low, 2-0 to count on him. Here's the paid attendance, 5,109. 5,109 if paid to see this game tonight. There's a line shot to left. It is a foul ball. He pulled it a little bit too much. It hooked into foul territory by a couple of feet. And a good clear ring to the ball hitting the bat. With 2 out of the 3rd inning, Larry Harlow hit a home run, and then Parrish tied the game in the Tiger 7th with a homer. 1-1. There's a fly ball at the left, backing up his camp. He'll have room. He makes the catch at the warning track. One up and one down, and now Harlow, the left-hand batting leadoff man, 1 for 3 with that home run stepped up. Tigers move on from here to Boston. They'll have a weekend series of the Red Sox at Fenway Park. 4 games up there. Tomorrow night a single game, Saturday single game in the afternoon, and a Sunday doubleheader. There's a fastball outside on Harlow, ball 1. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for Baltimore. Tigers have 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. The pitch, he takes an outside curve, 2-0 to count on Harlow. Wide of the bag at 3rd. Now backs up a step or so. Well, the infielders are deep, except for Aurelio. Here's the pitch. He takes the ball over with low. 3-0 of Harlow. Little bit of a breeze blowing in from left. Really not enough to hold up the ball hit in that direction. A wind up in the pitch. He walked in. It was very wide. That'll be the 3rd walk-off Baker. Here comes Ralph House. He has Hiller throwing in the bullpen. Hiller is ready if Ralph wants him. And a switch batter, Billy Smith, coming up next. So far, House has not given a sign. Now Hiller has stopped warming, so he has given a sign. And we'll get John Hiller, the veteran, to come in. Well, Mr. Steve Baker did himself proud in his debut. Young 21-year-old Californian coming on and allowing only 1 run. He could allow 2 because he's leaving a man on, but he'll leave the game with it tied at 1-1 as Hiller takes over.
Certainly a most creditable job by the rookie Steve Baker here tonight. In 6 and the 3rd innings, allowing a 1-run, a homer by Harlow. Total 8 hits given up. He walked 3, including Harlow just now, the last man he faced. Baker struck out 6. Hiller comes on trotting out toward the mound. John was the winning pitcher in the opening game of the twilight doubleheader last evening, coming in the 8th inning. He gave up a hit that resulted in tying the ball game, but then did not allow any more. The Tigers rallied the ninth for a run on the clutch single by Aurelio Rodriguez and made Hiller a winner for the 4th time this year. He has suffered 1 loss. John has 4 saves to his credit, doing an excellent job this year for Detroit. Hiller's earned run average now has dropped back down to 2.41. So he'll take over to face Billy Smith, who is really wielding a hot bat these last couple of ball games, being used in spot situations out at second base for the Orioles. Smith has collected 3 hits in the nightcap of the twilighter last night and 3 straight hits here in this ball game. He has 6 hits in a row. Let's take a check on the scoreboard. The night games in the American League. After 5 innings in Toronto, the Red Sox now lead 5-2. They picked up 3 runs in the 5th inning on a homer by Jim Rice, his 15th of the year. Earlier, Dwight Evans had hit his 6th homer with a man on, so all 5 Boston runs have been as the result of home runs. Eckersley pitching for Boston in that game. Underwood, the starter for Toronto. The Yankees have scored 3 in the 2nd and 3 in the 3rd against Cleveland and lead the Indians 6-0 in the 4th inning. Dick Tidrow pitching for New York. Waite started the Indians. Fitz Morris took over in the 3rd inning.
in double play depth, and Thompson holding on the base for the runner at first, Larry Harlow. Harlow edging off a little bit. And the pitch on the way, it's taken for a ball high. That was a fastball. 2-0 on Billy Smith. Game tied, 1-1. These two teams have swapped home runs. Harlow for Baltimore, Parrish for the Tigers. 7th inning right now. The Birds at bat against relief man Hiller. Smith swings and pops the foul out of play. It'll be over on the first base side. It's been a pitching series here in Baltimore. The Bird pitchers holding the upper hand. They've won 2 games and the Tigers have won 1. There's a strike on the outside corner. Fastball and nipped the corner with it. He's moved the count to 2-2 on Billy Smith. Harlow edging off the back at first. That's the pitch. Smith swings and strikes out, and his streak is over. That'll be the second out. Hiller fanning the first man he faces. Pat Kelly's not going to bat. We'll have a bench batter for him. Andres Mora. Whose home run won the game yesterday for Jeff Palmer. Mora's first home run of the year. He'll be stepping in now to face Hiller. Andres Mora. 2 out, a man at first. Celebrating a birthday today, Andres. And he takes the ball outside. Called on Mora, hitting .231. He has 1 home run and 1 RBI. They just brought him up fairly recently from the minors. Thompson trying to keep Harlow close at first. Mora takes a strike. There's the curve in from John Hiller. Breaking over the plate. 1-2 the count of the pitch batter. Delivers. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Parrish dropped the ball and tagged Mora in the batter's box. Well, Hiller comes on and gets 2 quick strikeouts to end the Baltimore threat in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. At the end of 7, Tigers won, the Orioles won. It's time to batter up during your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth Dealers 3rd Annual Honorary Tiger Bat Boy Contest. This is Ernie Harwell. This year, 22 Detroit area youngsters will be selected from each Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealership to become honorary Tiger Bat Boy. It's easy to enter. If your boy or girl is between the ages of 8 and 14, bring him or her into your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer before May 31st to register. Each youngster must be accompanied by a licensed driver 18 or older. On June the 5th will be a drawing to determine the winning Bat Boy. Then 22 games will be set aside to honor the winners. Each winner will receive a simulated Tiger uniform and tickets to the game of the family. So, batter up. Bring your youngster into your participating Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer and sign him or her up to be an honorary Tiger Bat Boy. There's no obligation, and we'll even give your child a free Tiger iron-on patch just for registering. Stop in today.
This is Jim Garrett. Detroit's buildings and safety engineers have answers to your energy-saving questions. Call 224-3181 for information.
New left fielder for Baltimore, Andres Mora, who came into bat for Pat Kelly, stays in to play the outfield and left. And LaFleur will lead off for the Tigers here in this 1-1 tie in the 8th inning. Ron without a hit. He's applied twice to right and hit into a force out to shortstop. McGregor still on the mound, the left-hander. Here's a strike delivered by Scott McGregor, strike 1 call. LaFleur, Wagner, and Staub, the first 3 scheduled Detroit hitters. Wingland, top foul off of first. Here comes Murray over, and he won't reach it. It's about 2 rows in. Just past the Tiger dugout on the first base side. This ballpark opened in 1954 on opening day. The Orioles beat the White Sox. Smith for 3. McGregor delivers, and it is a ball outside. 1-1 tie, 8th inning in Baltimore. Swinging a foul, back at the plate. One reason that the hitting was a little bit light that year in Baltimore, they didn't have many heavy hitters to start with, but they had a big ballpark. They didn't have these tennis fences out here now, and the lights were very bad to go along with it. There's a ground ball foul to Freddie Hatfield. 1-2, that's the count on Wagner. Well, Mr. McGregor has been a strong pitcher, only that home run by Parrish giving the Tigers their run. Here it comes. Wagner takes the ball wide. 2-2. Waiting on deck is Rusty Staub. Wind's picked up a little bit now. It's blowing in from left across toward right a little bit. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a foul out of play right down below it. Checking his sign with catcher Dempsey works again. Wagner cuts as a fly ball down the line and right it'll go foul and won't be reachable. Murray ran back, but he was not high enough for him to get under. And it falls safely. Paul was talking about the foul territory here, and it used to be much bigger. They put some field seats in. I'd say about 7 or 8 rows, and that cut down the territory between the foul lines and the seats. Delivery. Swing and little tap or foul over toward third.
Did they have a higher barrier between the field and the first row of the box seats then?
That's right, out where
where it juts out there.
Where it juts out, you can see the original height. I guess it was about 10 feet high there. Now they're right down 4 or 5 feet high. There's a swing little pop-up out in the middle of the diamond who's going to get it. Here comes Murray, and he makes a catch. Almost a mix-up. Dempsey went out. McGregor wanted no part of it. Now it came over from third, past the mound, and Murray finally speared the ball at the last split second. Let's ball briefly for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Checking the weather for Greater Detroit, mostly fair through tomorrow. Low tonight, low 60s. High tomorrow, 83 to 87. And Saturday, partly sunny, continued warm, high in the mid-80s. Right now, hazy in 77. This is WJR Detroit.
Staub at the plate. He fouls off the first pitch to him from Scott McGregor. Up against the facing of the upper deck. Strike one, the count on Rusty. He singled, bounced into double play and fly to right. 1-1 tie, 8th inning. Another close one in Baltimore. Left-handed pitches, and there's a swing and a little tap rolling foul over toward the Tiger dugout. Now, McGregor has been tough. His control's been good. He's walked only once. He struck out 4 Tigers. Really has not been in any trouble. The only score came on Parrish's home run in the 7th. Now the strike 2 delivery. And Staub swings as a chopper to left field. It'll drop in for a base hit. He might get 2 more chasing the ball. Rusty digging for 2. There he goes, chugging into second base and holding with a stand-up double. That's the 6th Tiger hit. And Rusty Staub has 2. Dillard has 2. 1 for Kemp and 1 for Parrish. Now Chopkin coming to bat now with a tie-breaking run at second base. Jason is 0 for 3 against this left-handed McGregor. He ended the first inning with a fly to center. He started the 4th inning with a bounce back to McGregor. And he was the second out in the 6th inning when he bounded out to second base. Outfield around the right. Staub getting a short lead from second base. Murray, the first baseman, very deep, guarding the line here in the late innings. And after Thompson, it'll be Kemp. 1-1 tie, 8th inning. Man on second, 2 down. And the pitch. He takes a strike. Letter high fastball. This is really only the second full Major League season for McGregor. 1 pitch to Jason Thompson. It's on the way. He takes a wide one. 1-1 the count on him. Staub and Thompson and Kemp get to look at a lot of left-hand pitching. They stay in that batting order, and they're right there in the middle part of it. 1-1 tie in the 8th. 1-1 pitch to Thompson. It's on the way. He takes a pitch in too close. That hit the bat, I believe, as he ducked away. It'll be strike 2. Trying to move out of the way. I think it skipped the bat. Pitch jammed him. Now McGregor back up on the hill to check his time with Dempsey. Thompson digs in again. McGregor taking a little bit more time. Jason's still waiting on the left-hander. Here's the pitch. He swings and pops the foul to be out of play back at third base. Now coming over, but it's just into the seats about 10 rows. Orioles started the season badly, but they've come on mainly due to fine upsurge in their pitching. They've turned the pitching around in the last week. And they've stymied the Tiger hitters in this series. Still a 1-2 count on Jason. Now McGregor ready. He kicks the field. There's a swing and a miss, struck him out. Ball outside, Turner fooled him. That'll be the 5th strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the last half of the 8th inning. Baltimore 1, Detroit 1.
You're the designated hitter in the Labatt Baseball Trivia Game. Here's the pitch. Which Yankee batter holds the team mark for the highest batting average in a single season? Think it over a cool, refreshing Labatt's Blue. The highest batting average in a season for a Yankee is held by the Bambino himself, Babe Ruth. He hit .393 in 1923. Great moments in sports. Everybody has their favorite. Great baseball calls for great beer. Labatt's Blue. Call for Labatt. Brewed in Canada since 1828. Distributed by Labatt Importers Incorporated, Buffalo, New York.
For beer at its finest, get your hands on Labatt's. It's Canada's #1 beer. As fresh and crisp as where it comes from.
In the last half of the 8th, there's some American League night games that passed along. Boston leads Toronto 8-3 there in the 7th inning. Evans, White, and Ashby hit home runs. And the Yankees lead Cleveland 6-2 in the 5th inning. Singleton will be batting right-handed this time as he moves around to face the Tiger reliever John Hillard. Against the starter Steve Baker, Singleton struck out twice and flied to left field. Swing, there's a fly ball to right. It'll just foul and back into the seat. 1 strike on Ken Singleton. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for Baltimore. The Tigers have 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. Baltimore took the lead. Now Baker with a 2-out home run from the bat of Larry Harlow in the 3rd inning. Then Parrish tied the game with the Tigers with 1 out and nobody on. He had a home run in the 7th inning. It's the last half of the 8th inning now. 1-1. Fastball wide. Singleton has a 1-1 count on him. John Hillard took over in the 7th, pitched to 2 men and fanned both of them. Change-up is high. 2-1 the count on Singleton. Murray waiting on deck. Another switch batter. Swing and a miss. The change fooled him then. fielder straight up on Eddie Murray, a man with a lot of power. He looks down to Riskin now, the third base coach. Thompson trying to keep that runner. Lopez close at first. Here's the stretch by Hiller. Murray bunts the ball toward first and a roll foul. Picked up by Thompson. 1-1 the count on Eddie. Lopez trotting back from second toward first base. Murray now digs in to wait on a 1-1 delivery from John Hiller. Here's a set by John. And the pitch, he swings and fouls it away on a check swing. 1-2 the count on Eddie Murray. He'll be followed by Lee May and then Rick Dempsey. When it goes, the ball is swung on and fouled away. They sent Lopez then. Murray fouled it back at the plate into the dirt. 1 run, 8 hits for Baltimore, 1 run, and 6 hits for the Tigers. And a close one all the way, never more than a 1-run difference. Now, typical of this series between the Tigers and the Orioles. Hiller checks his sign with his catcher Parrish. Lopez trying to lead at first. 1-2 pitch again. He doesn't go. The ball is fouled away. And they grounded down past third. And a new supply of baseballs brought out to Ron Luciano. Don't forget Free Jacket Day at Tiger Stadium coming up the 4th of June. That's a Sunday. Tigers play the Twins. And a snazzy blue vinyl jacket with a Tiger emblem goes to every boy and girl, 14 and under on the full price ticket. Box seats to $6, reserve seats to $5. Now Hiller ready to go again. The 1-2 pitch. When it goes, the ball is swung on and fouled away. Well, they keep sending Lopez, and Murray keeps fouling them off.
tire sale. We've got popular polyester cord Firestone Deluxe Champion tires, price sale. Can you believe it? And Radial Deluxe Champion bike wall started. And that's all you pay for a Firestone Radial. Why, it's unbelievable. The thing for you to do is drive into your participating marathon here. Remember, there are 29. I've been to every one of them. Get a super deal on a Firestone tire. Me? I'm exhausted. I'm going to have to go back to the man in the booth. Catch you later. See Ron Mara at RJ Super Service in Mount Clemens and Joe Quanto at Quanto's Marathon in Farmington Hills.
Outside, 1-1 on Watkins.
1-1. But in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs, Lee May hit a home run right at the 360-foot mark. It just got over the fence out of the reach of Steve Kemp, but it was enough to pin the second loss of the season on John Hiller and to hand the Tigers a 2-1 defeat. The total, 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Baltimore. For the Tigers, 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. I'll be back on with more on this ball game after these messages.
I have a message from my friends in the advertising biz around town. Of course, the rest of you can eavesdrop if you like. Here's the message. You guys and gals who produce TV commercials for your clients might not be aware that right under your very noses is one of the most modern, best-equipped videotape facilities in the United States. I'm talking about Wilding Video on Cadju Road. If you're doing location shoots, Wilding has 2 fully equipped vans and 2 huge sound stages at Cadju. Computer animation? Glad you asked. Wilding has the equipment right on the premises, along with computerized editing, film chains, 16 and 35 millimeter film to tape transfer, sound mix, plus a full staff of qualified video technicians to work with you. The point is, why make time-consuming trips to New York, Chicago, or the West Coast when top-flight TV commercial production is as close as Cadju Road? Wilding Video has everything, and it's all under one roof, too.
This is Jim Forrest. Whether you're coming or going, Radio 76 has sports information you need with JP in the morning, Mark Avery in the afternoon, here on WJR.
But certainly not a high-scoring affair here tonight in the windup of this 4-game series. All of the scoring by way of bases-empty home runs. The Orioles got the first in the 3rd inning by Larry Harlow off rookie Steve Baker making his major league debut. Parrish's home run in the 7th tied it. May's home run in the 8th inning gives the Orioles the 2-1 win. Baker pitched very creditably in his major league debut. Going 6th in the 3rd inning, Steve gave up just the 1 run. He allowed 8 hits, walked 3, and struck out 6, and exhibited a very fine breaking ball here tonight. Hiller took over with a man on and 1 out of the 7th inning, and John struck out the next 2 men he faced. And in the 8th inning, after walking the leadoff man, he struck out Eddie Murray, and it resulted in a double play when the pinch runner Lopez tried to move to second. But then, with 2 out, nobody on, Lee May hit the home run, his 9th of the year off Hiller, to pin John with a loss. Hiller's record now 4-2. McGregor with his 4th straight win and his 3rd excellent outing. He has now allowed just 2 runs in his last 3 games, and McGregor now has a record of 4 wins and 3 defeats. So the Orioles take the series 3-1. The Tigers managing to score only 4 runs in the 4 games here in Baltimore. Perhaps those bats will come alive in the hitters' ballpark known as Fenway Park in Boston for the 4-game series coming up. A single game tomorrow night, a single game Saturday afternoon, and then a doubleheader on Sunday afternoon. There were 5,109 on hand as the paid attendance here at Memorial Stadium tonight for a game that took just 2 hours and 13 minutes. In the opener in Boston tomorrow night, Milt Wilcox, who's won 3 and lost 1 for the Tigers this year, will go against Bill Reed, who has the 6-1 record, the 1 being the defeat pinned on him last Sunday by the Tigers at Tiger Stadium. Our broadcast coverage from Fenway Park for the opener tomorrow night begins at 7:15 with Ernie Harwell's pregame program. Well, that's the story for the first visit to Memorial Stadium in Baltimore of the season. For Ernie, this is Paul Carey saying so long. Once again, the final score, the Baltimore Orioles 2, the Detroit Tigers 1.
You've been listening to Detroit Tiger Baseball 1978. Brought to you by Labatt's. For beer at its finest, call for Labatt's, Canada's #1 beer. By your Marathon dealers and Marathon distributors. People who got together to do it better. By your Greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealers, who got Horizon, Motor Trend Magazine's Car of the Year. By Champion Spark Plug. Treat your car to a fresh set of Champions. They're the world's #1 seller. And you can't buy a better plug than Champion. By the Detroit News. For the first good news in sports every morning, read the Detroit News AM edition at newsstands at 6:30 every morning. By City National Bank, where you can get combo checking, 2 ways to check without charges. And by Little Caesars Pizza, a winner any way you slice it.
listening to America's great radio station, WJR Detroit.
Right now, get a big 25-inch RCA Color Track console, the Crawford, and get a $100 cash rebate. The Crawford by RCA is the color television you've always wanted. Here are the features that make it so nice. A beautiful, contemporary wood-grain cabinet with swivel base. A big 25-inch diagonal screen. RCA's 100% solid-state chassis designed for reliability and long life. The Crawford comes with single-knob electronic tuning, also a room light sensor, and of course it features RCA Color Track. Color Track grabs the picture, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track, giving you the best RCA color picture ever. Get the beautiful swivel-base Crawford and get a $100 cash rebate from RCA Distributing Corporation. See your participating RCA dealer for details. Act now. This offer expires May 31st. You'll be watching a brand new RCA Color Track console with $100 in your pocket. Now there's a good thought. RCA is making television better and better.
Welcome to the Paul Carey Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Radio 76, your power station for sports. Now, for the scores, the players who made news, and a resume of the action of today's baseball game, back to the stadium and Paul Carey.
Good evening again from Baltimore, where the Tigers lost to the Orioles in a tight one 2-1 tonight. In the National League, 3 of the 4 games scheduled on this date were played this afternoon. At St. Louis, the Montreal Expos beat the Cardinals 11-2 after the Cardinals had ended an 11-game losing streak last night. Montreal had 11 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. The Cards, 2 runs, 9 hits, and 3 errors. Grimsley got his 7th win. Ross has lost twice. Urea, the loser, is 2-6. At Chicago, the Cubs kept on rolling. They beat the Phillies 5-1. 5-9-0 for the Cubs, 1-6-2 for the Phils. Rick Russell besting Steve Carlton in that one. Russell now 5-3. Carlton suffered his 5th loss. He's won 4 times. And in another afternoon game at San Francisco, the Giants trimmed Houston 9-1. 9 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Giants. 1-6-4 for the Astros. Adelicki with his first win, no defeats. J.R. Richard, the loser, is 4-4. One game tonight in the National League. After 7 innings at Pittsburgh, it's the Mets 2 and the Pirates 2. Swan pitching for New York, Blyleven going for Pittsburgh. A check of the American League scores in 1 minute.
This is Ernie Harwell for Sunglow Pop. There's a lot of noise out there about soft drinks. A lot of suggestions that a particular beverage will put California girls into your life and make you 30 years younger, or turn a cheeseburger into a work of art. Sunglow Pop doesn't do any of that. Sunglow simply offers you a cool, refreshing taste and 11 luscious flavors at a thoroughly agreeable price. Sunglow Pop. It's just a soft drink with a refreshing taste. Sunglow, a radiant refreshment. And here's another refreshing idea from Sunglow. Sunglow Lemonade. You know, I remember my mother making lemonade on hot summer days when I was a kid, and somehow it just wasn't summer until she squeezed those lemons and fixed that lemonade. So you can have that wonderful lemon flavor without all the fuss in new Sunglow Lemonade. It's non-carbonated, fortified with vitamin C, and ready to drink. No mixing, no stirring, just a refreshing glass of lemonade in a can. New Sunglow Lemonade, another fine beverage from Brooks Products.
Just gathering some late arriving American League scores, a couple of night games going on right now. This afternoon in the American League at Minnesota, the Texas Rangers beat the Twins by a score of 7-1. 7-9-1 for Texas, 1-7-2 for the Twins. Ferguson Jenkins going all the way for his 5th win against 2 defeats. Serum, the loser, 3-1. At Seattle, Kansas City pounded out a 9-4 victory over the Mariners. 9 runs, 13 hits, and an error for the Royals. 4-9-1 for Seattle. Paul Splittorff posting his 5th win against 4 defeats, ending a personal 4-game losing streak. Glenn Abbott, the loser, is 1-3. Porter hit his 6th homer for Kansas City, while Bernhardt and Braun both homered for Seattle. Tonight at Toronto, we've got an update now. Through 8 innings, it is Boston 8. And the Blue Jays 5. The Jays coming up with a couple of runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Moore has gone into pitch now for Toronto. He's been preceded by Underwood and Kirkwood. Drago and Bergmeyer both came on in relief of Eckersley in the 8th inning. Bergmeyer now in there for Boston. Evans hit a 2-run homer for Boston, his 6th of the year. Rice, a 3-run homer, Jim's 15th of the year, as the Red Sox built up an 8-2 lead, but they now lead it 8-5 going into the 9th inning. At New York, after 5.5 innings, the Yankees are leading the Indians by a score of 8-2. Tidrow all the way for New York. Wake started for the Tribe. Fitzmaurice relieving in the 3rd inning. And about to begin in California, the White Sox against the Angels. Schuler to go for the White Sox. Tanana for California. A check of the Tiger game in 1 minute.
Savings accounts aren't just for grown-ups. They're great for kids, too. A good way to start them developing sound money habits. And there's no better place for kids to learn the value of saving money than at the family's credit union, where their savings will grow because of good dividends. And where the NCUA emblem means that each account is insured to $40,000 by an agency of the federal government. Your kids may not be able to save quite that much, but with encouragement from you and the credit union, they might just surprise you. Why not give the kids a chance to discover what the credit union could do for them?
Here at Baltimore tonight, a battle of home runs. The Orioles out-homering the Tigers 2-1. An 8th inning home run by Lee May, breaking a 1-1 tie. It came off reliever John Hiller and gave the Birds a 2-1 victory. Hiller suffering the loss, his 2nd against 4 wins, while Scott McGregor went all the way to post his 4th win against 3 defeats, allowing the Tigers only 6 hits, one of them a 7th inning home run by Lance Parrish. Steve Baker, the rookie right-hander, made his major league debut for the Tigers tonight and allowed 1 run, a homer by Larry Harlow in the 3rd inning. He left the ball game in the 7th. Well, the Tigers dropped 3 of 4 to Baltimore's good pitching during this series. Move on to Boston to open a 4-game set tomorrow night. And that's tonight's scoreboard show. From Baltimore, Paul Carey wishing you good evening.
The Paul Carey Sports Scoreboard was brought to you by Radio 76, your power station for sports. The Paul Carey Sports Scoreboard is heard right after all Detroit Tiger baseball games. This is the Detroit Tigers Baseball Network.
Now, True Value hardware stores can help you take the pain out of painting with their True Test 8-piece flat pad painting set for just $4.99. It'll help make your next painting job easier because it includes almost everything you need. The set includes a paint pad handle and 2 reusable 6x4-inch painting pads for fast, smooth paint coverage without messy splatters. You also get a set of guide wheels for fast, straight trimming along ceilings, in corners, and around trim. Plus a mini pad and handle for trimming in small areas, a 6-inch sturdy metal paint tray, and more. The True Test 8-piece flat pad painting set from True Value hardware stores can make indoor and outdoor painting jobs easier. Get it for just $4.99 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
True Value hardware is more than just a name. It's a way of doing business that beats True Value.
Wilding the other day, and they've got some good news for all of you involved in producing TV commercials at advertising agencies. Wilding Video, you know, the place over on the east side of town, has expanded its facilities to meet your needs. Now, maybe you've had a problem recently in scheduling studio and video editing time, which can cause uncomfortable and embarrassing delays for your clients. Well, Wilding Video has added, among other things, still another computer-controlled editing suite, filled with top-quality equipment that, of course, meets broadcast standards, just like everything else at their one-stop facility on Cadju Road. Now, top-quality equipment is, of course, very, very important. But so are top-quality people that get the utmost performance out of that equipment. And Wilding Video just happens to be blessed with superbly qualified technical personnel, in fact, some of the very best in the business. So for complete production services, plus increased post-production services, why don't you give Wilding Video a call?
Now, Smooth Kava Romance, the dull love story where everything runs smoothly. Thanks to Kava, smooth coffee that's real coffee. Here's to 7 smooth years together, Samantha.
Smooth, let's go.
And here's to Kava, the coffee that puts smooth into our life.
If only we had a bitter fight now and then.
But Kava took bitterness out of our life.
An occasional squabble.
Samantha, I see a future of smooth sipping with you, me, and Kava.
Maybe I'll have an affair.
Have a love affair with the smooth, rich taste of Kava. Kava is never bitter because it's 90% acid neutralized. This unique process softens bitter coffee acid for a really smooth taste. Yet Kava is real coffee, no cereal or grain, for a real coffee taste.
Have a cup of Kava. What a cup of smooth, real coffee.
Fight with me, Samuel.
I can't. I'm sipping smooth Kava. Try Kava Instant Coffee. Smooth coffee that's real, real coffee that's smooth. From Borden.
This is Paul Henke with Moneyline on the NBC Radio Network. The stock market didn't do much of anything Thursday because many investors were waiting for the Federal Reserve to report its weekly money supply figures, and they're not released until after the market closes. What trading there was produced a loss of 2.5 points for the Dow Industrials, which ended the session at 835. The dollar also declined moderately on many currency exchanges. Bob Hope cracked some jokes about higher postal rates at his birthday party in the White House last night, but many publishers and other companies that use the mails are not amused by the boost in rates because it will mean a big rise in their overall cost of doing business. A Duluth oil company took advantage of the approaching postal increase by mailing Christmas cards to its 15,000 customers early. In doing so, it was able to use up some 13-cent stamps before they go out of style and get a little publicity to boot. Incidentally, the higher mailing charges go into effect Monday. Greeting card makers say the higher rates will hurt their Christmas business, but not cards for other occasions. Here's some brighter news. The Treasury Department reports in Washington that the federal budget was in surplus by more than $6.5 billion in April. The bad news is that income tax collections caused much of that temporary bulge. Treasury says the budget itself will still wind up the fiscal year $53 billion in the red. Paul Henke from the offices of the U.S. News, Washington Letter.
When you buy the world's best-selling jeans, you get good-fitting, great-looking heavy denim jeans. And you get some very impressive stitching on the back pockets. When you buy plain pockets from JCPenney, you get good-fitting, great-looking heavy denim jeans, and you get absolutely nothing on the back pockets. But they cost a lot less.
No kidding. Plain pockets, only at JCPenney. The big difference is the pocket and the price. Now available in denim and new denim extra.
I just got the figures from your lease manager on a new Cutlass Supreme.
Fine, Dan, and?
I'm ready to join the Al Bauer Rental Club.
Hey, that's just great. Hundreds of people are charter members, and we like adding more.
My wife's happy, too. She picked out the spot to put that cedar log picnic table. I do get the picnic table if I lease, right?
You better believe it. New or used, buy or lease. Free picnic table. That's our way of saying thanks during our grand opening sale.
I know Olds is super in ride and quality, but the price is right, too.
The entire Olds lineup, same way. Everyone should experience the ride in a new Olds, though. And if we aren't convenient for you, go into your nearest Olds dealer. We're located at the end of Telegraph and the Dixie Highway in Pontiac.
The dealer that says he's not satisfied till you are. You know what? He really means it.
Driving style along every mile, driving Al Bauer.
It's time now to check the weather for Greater Detroit. And from John McMurray at the WJR Weather Center, mostly fair skies tonight. That continuing through the day tomorrow. Low tonight 60 to 63. The high tomorrow 83 to 87. The outlook for Saturday, partly sunny, continued warm with a high in the middle 80s. On Sunday, possibly scattered showers, but still warm. And the same for Monday, Memorial Day. Currently, the winds are out of the east at 3 miles per hour. The humidity is 68%. Under partly cloudy skies, Detroit Metro officially reporting 67. Pontiacian with partly cloudy and 78 degrees. In the Ypsilanti Ann Arbor area, partly cloudy and 71. Clear and 63 in Lansing. Alpena, partly cloudy and 59. Detroit City Airport, partly cloudy and 72. Again, officially at Detroit's Metro Airport, partly cloudy and 67 degrees. And at this point in the evening, Michigan Emergency Patrol reporting no unusual tie-ups on any of the freeways or major surface streets. Stay tuned for J.P. McCarthy's Focus Encore.
And now, let's talk turkey.
Gobble, gobble.
Thank you.
Oh, try a Mr. Turkey Frank. Yes, sirree. A Mr. Turkey Frank. Tasty.
Hi, Mr. Turkey here with 3 reasons to make your next hot dog a turkey.
You're wearing your tuxedo.
I know.
Oh, try a Mr. Turkey Frank. Yes, sirree. It's the yummiest hot dog. Tasty.
Reason number 1, my hot dogs are 100% turkey, no filler, so there's less fat and calories than the leading all-meat hot dogs and more protein.
Oh, try a Mr. Turkey Frank. Yes, sirree.
Reason 2, they're meatier.
A Mr. Turkey Frank.
Reason number 3, not only is there more protein, my Turkey Franks have the juicy hot dog taste you'll love.
Tasty.
Who ever heard of a turkey who could talk?
I went out with one last night.
Just look for me on the package.
That tuxedo is kind of cute.
Thank you.
Oh, try a Mr. Turkey Frank. Yes, sirree. It's the yummiest hot dog. Tasty.
From Studio D, this is J.P. McCarthy's Focus. WJR presents an active view of life and living. A lively look at people, events, and attitudes put into focus by J.P. McCarthy.
Eddie, thank you very much. In focus today, Robert Goulet, Bobby Gullett, with all 32 of his perfectly formed teeth glinting in the sunlight. He's back in town at the Birmingham Theater, I think.
Yes.
And thus, we have become Camelot Midwest or Las Vegas East, I guess, as the case may be. We're also going to meet speech specialist Diane DeHaven with an incredible voice box that happens to be made with batteries and wires and stuff like that, which will speak for itself, I think, about the magic it can perform for people who have literally lost their voices.
Correct.
The big voice of Robert Goulet right after he finishes his Michigan-made pie on this apple pie day during Michigan Week in just a minute.
If you've got a story to tell, and you really want to tell it well, get it, don't forget it, on Kodak film. If you've got something to say, then say it in a colorful way. Get it, don't forget it, on Kodak film.
Memorial Day is coming, and that means another summer's about to begin. Kick off the season with picnics, parties, parades, and remember it all in big, colorful pictures on Kodak film. Be sure to get enough Kodak film to take in every minute of the fun. The forecast for the long holiday weekend is picture perfect. With Kodak film, you've got what it takes.
You know, I roll this lake every morning. It's great exercise. And I watch my diet. But I'm still not in the same shape I was as a teenager. So the Levi's jeans that used to be comfortable just don't fit me the same anymore. It happens to all of us. As you get older, your body distribution just naturally changes. Wait, let's stop a second. Thing is, I still wear Levi's jeans, but now they're Levi's for men, because they're cut to fit a man's body. There's Levi's blue jeans, Levi's cords, and they're just the beginning. There's dressier fabrics, different kinds of stitching. Not all that crazy gaffarg you see on some jeans, just really nice adult styling. And every pair is made with the quality you'd expect from Levi's. Look, I gotta get across this lake. But if you want the jeans comfort you loved as a kid, with the styling and fit you want as a man, get back into Levi's. Levi's for men.
It's your first guest in Focus today. It really doesn't need any introduction, so why should we fool around? If you'll just smile, it's okay. If there are a couple of pieces of Michigan-made apple pie, please help me welcome Robert Goulet.
Forgive me, I'm starving. I haven't had any breakfast, and this apple pie is magnificent.
We shouldn't let that interrupt the interview. Just go ahead and keep eating. Nice to see you.
I'll eat.
You look terrific. You get sick of people saying that to you because I guess that must assume, gee, we thought you'd look older, but you don't.
I feel younger. I feel 18.
Oh, really?
And, when Carol and I were separated, I ate my own food, and I dropped 20 pounds. And so now I'm about 172 instead of 188. And I feel happy about it, because the little devil, she's cooking for me again, and oh boy, it's so good. I have to eat.
You alluded to the fact that you and Carol Lawrence are back together again, and I'm delighted to hear that. She was in town 6 months ago. She had recorded a religious album, or a series of them, as I recall. And we talked about you, as a matter of fact, on this program.
She talked about me?
Yes, she did, and very warmly. Which made me think, gee, that's a funny way for an ex-wife to talk about an ex-husband, because there's usually a lot of vindictiveness present. But she didn't. I'm delighted you're back. It's none of my business, but I'm thrilled for you.
Well, I thank you very much, and I thank you. We're very happy.
Wonderful. Okay, are you going to get married? You're going to...
No, we never were divorced.
I didn't know that.
So we're just I'm back at the house, and I'm eating her food, and she's eating my food. She ate my crock pot for the first time.
Is she going to be in town for this performance?
Oh,
Anytime during the performance?
She can't make it. She's in Washington right now, and were it not for my performance here at the Birmingham, I would be in Washington with her doing the 75th birthday party for Bob Hope.
Oh, see, that's got to be fun.
Yeah, I wish I could have made it, but I'm glad I'm here.
Robert, I seem to think you're a prisoner within the confines of the state of Nevada. Am I right? Most of the time?
At one time, that was so. Obviously, now it is no longer so. I'm back living in California, though my residence is still in Nevada.
Yeah.
I have a house there.
But you work there most of the year, don't you?
No, I did up to about 16 weeks a year there in Nevada. And now it's coming down to about 4 to 8 weeks at the most. I'm going to be doing some work in Atlantic City and across the country and across the world. I'm going to Australia in a couple of weeks.
Has Atlantic City had it's too new yet. There isn't anything up yet. Is that going to have an impact on the entertainment business?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Spread the base.
Oh, yeah. Not only an impact taking away from Las Vegas, you have, within 500 miles driving distance, 1/4 of the population of the United States in the environs of Atlantic City. When they start to move, it'll then develop to Florida and to Long Island and possibly other portions of New Jersey. There will be a lot of gambling. People gamble. It's a $500 billion a year investment from people in every way, janitor, a plumber, and an electrician.
Look at the success of the state lotteries.
Exactly.
It's been incredible.
Exactly. And so why not take it away from the mafia and put it into the hands of the state or the country and develop areas where we can help the poor and the elderly.
Well, now that all sounds very altruistic.
Hey, I might run for Congress.
It doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately. Be that as it may, you're right. Gambling has always been with us, and it always will. We might as well have it controlled by some people we trust reasonably. Anyway, besides that,
yes.
What a boom that's going to have on your business. You personally, you've never lacked for work, but I mean the entertainment nightclub business per se. One sad thing about it, though, it's tough to get acts in here now. There is only one nightclub left in Detroit, which is a tragedy. There should be 7 or 8. This is the 5th largest city in the United States. Las Vegas ruined all of that because of the prices that are paid to stars like you.
Well, there are no nightclubs in New York.
Of course not. Can't afford it.
None whatsoever. No.
Well, that's sad, isn't it?
I think so. You have one you have several in Miami, but they're slowly falling downhill. You have a couple in New Orleans and in San Francisco, and there really are none in Los Angeles, because Los Angeles is not a nightclub town.
And it's also 100 miles from Las Vegas, and you can get there easily.
Yeah, and Los Angeles is so spread out, you can't get someplace. It's not like saying, I live in downtown Chicago, and I'm just going to go to the club tonight and be back at home within half an hour. No way. It's a 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive.
Have you changed your thinking about show business in the last 15 years since you emerged in your Sir Lancelot role as a legitimate stage performer in musical comedy? Have you changed your attitude at all? Have you changed your direction?
Got a half an hour?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have changed considerably. I'm going this fall to do Camelot again as the king.
Bravo.
For about 16, 18 weeks, and right after that, I go right into rehearsals with Carol, as a matter of fact. I'm going to do Kiss Me Kate, a renewal. Kiss Me Kate. It hasn't been done in New York for 30 years. We will play 8 weeks in Los Angeles, 8 weeks in San Francisco, perhaps a couple of weeks in Chicago, and then open in New York in the fall of '79.
Has it not been done since Drake?
No.
Will you grow big?
Did he do it?
Sure.
Did Alfred Drake do it in
Oh, of course.
That's 30 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, I think he did. Yeah.
I didn't know he did. I happen to be one of his fans. But nonetheless...
Are you telling me that what you are doing is forsaking nightclubs and...
yes, because I want to go back to the theater. I'll be co-producing it, of course, so I make a couple of bucks on the side, because otherwise I couldn't afford it with my overhead. But that doesn't matter. I just want to do it. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be worthwhile.
You told me you were going to do that 7 years ago.
Now I'm doing it now.
You sat here and you said...
Hey, but I lied 7 years ago.
Okay, you said, I'm going back to Broadway. It's going to cost me a lot of money, but that's what I really want to do.
Right.
I'm sorry. Why is it taking you... Why is it taking you so long?
I guess expenses.
You can't turn down $50,000 a week.
That's right.
Nobody makes that on Broadway, do they?
No.
The biggest star in the world doesn't make that.
That's right.
What's the magic for you about the stage, so-called legitimate theater?
Oh, gee, it's just where I started as a kid in the business, and I just want to get back to it, to do something worthwhile, and it's to be on Broadway again. It's miraculous for me. I want to do it.
Tonic.
Yeah, sure.
You know, your whole attitude changed. I didn't know you before. I didn't know you when you were Sir Lancelot, but you became a, quote, nightclub performer, unquote, and looked very comfortable with it. Jokes. You would tell, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 minutes worth of jokes.
No, I
did
not. No.
You would have some fun. You looked like you felt completely at ease. Moving
I do
around
feel at ease
in the
on a nightclub
Shecky Green genre.
No, not Shecky Green. He's a genius. I'm just a schluck. I just go out there and do it. But I love to tell jokes. I'd rather be a good joke to me is better than singing a high C. And you know very well I cannot sing a high C. I'm just a middle-of-the-road baritone. That's as far as I'm going to go. But I do enjoy doing nightclubs. But I do. You're talking about Broadway. I want to back on the stage. I want to produce. I want to someday direct. Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know.
Neither do I. But I said, wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
You don't know, I don't know, so let's go on to something else.
Obviously, if you want to do it, then it's very important to you.
Yeah. Producing, I've done. Go ahead.
Was it opening night last night for you?
Yes.
How'd it go?
Very well. We didn't have the film at the beginning of the show. There was a light off, so we had one spotlight. The sound needs to be fixed up because it's a new theater, and they're just developing it. And there are a lot of silly little problems, but we're going to fix that up today. And tonight will be a different performance, but the people were marvelous. I got a standing ovation. I was very pleased. And I'm ready to go at it again.
You have a lot of fans, I'm certain, everywhere you go. But it seems to me they're particularly strong here in this part of the world, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. I've always felt that I've had the pleasure of introducing you on a couple of occasions at charity events. And they always are most enthusiastic, even wildly enthusiastic. Even bananas. It must make, I don't know, I think of you as coming home, if you don't mind me saying that.
I agree with that. I like that. Thank you.
Can you do a performance, ever, without singing If Ever I Would Leave You?
Oh, I have done it in the past. I do include it in my present act.
Thank heaven.
And a lot of other things.
Well, why would he? I can't imagine.
Short people, I use that.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, but it's a joke. We laugh.
Hang on.
I'm not knocking short people, dear God. I like spinners.
Fantasy hasn't changed completely. Carol. He's only kidding, Carol. A moment on Carol, Lawrence, if you don't mind.
Remember her?
If you'd rather just tell me to shut up.
It's my lady.
Of course she is. She had a personal change in her life. She told me about it, a religious change. She was saved, if you will. Okay, she had a Christian experience, part of which she shared with us. Is that still very much a part of her thinking and her life?
Yes, and it's part of my life, too. I also am a born-again Christian, and I'm very much enamored with the Lord. It's the nicest thing in the world for something to happen. Like it happened last week at home, and I tried to put a plug behind the bed in our bedroom, and I couldn't reach it, so I moved the what do you call those things? The end tables where the lamp was on.
Okay. Bedside table.
I moved it to put the plug in, and as I moved it, the lamp, which was about 4 feet tall, fell, and I've got one hand down here and one hand over there, and I couldn't reach this lamp, and it fell. And I'm watching it fall, and this has happened to me once or twice in my life. Usually I'm very fast with my hands. I couldn't reach it in time. She walked in at that very moment, and I said, excuse me, I said something terrible. I'm not going to say it. Gosh darn it.
Yes.
A little stronger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And she said, that's all right. That's okay. I want to get it replaced anyway. That's what she said. That's how she behaved.
Yeah.
And I just felt. I just melted. Kveld is a Jewish word for meaning melt.
Would she have said something differently 10 years
ago?
ago?
We're not Jewish, but what? She might have said,